I'm waiting for them to watch and see me too. Like, yeah, I said it. Y'all ain't worth it. Not a damn one of y'all. Dane, Organized Chaos, definitely not Ed for pop culture, pop counterculture. I seen his videos trying to make, oh, I used to make movies and make cinema. That shit's trash. uh, like I've seen better B-list movies on BET. Um, and some of those movies were fucking dog water. Y'all are just retarded. Like y'all retarded, bro. Like, and then like I'm like, I can't take you seriously because I can't take Eric seriously because he doesn't even know what color to keep his beard for a week. He can't keep the same beard color for a week. I can't take you seriously. I can't. Once again, goes back into like, this is why I don't bother with these clowns and just make fun of them. I just point and laugh at these motherfuckers. Ha 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 ha. Because these people flip flop more than a fish out of water. You feel me? So these motherfuckers, like, and I'm watching them, and I'm not just saying it to be for hyperbole's sake. Like, I've sit up here and I've watched these people, and I'm like, yo, these niggas is crazy. Like, y'all, what you just said, it's not okay to be racist, but then you're over here being racist toward a black guy.
Yeah.
But if I didn't have no light on, you know what I'm saying? I look like a lock character in a video game, and you have to pay EA $25 to unlock me.
Well, I got the opposite problem. I look like a ghost most of the time. Like, if I don't get the lighting just right, I'm translucent. Right. But it's a trade-off.
Exactly.
And talk about it.
You know what? I just want to show people that a conversation can be had from stuff like this, because when it comes down to these people, awesome. like don't get me wrong, and we'll talk a little bit about it, because some of these people, man, because I've been following for a minute. I've been looking at these detractors and looking at everything, and this is like, I think it comes down to a lot of people don't understand what the internet was really for. It was for stuff like this. Is to generate conversation, right? You can have different viewpoints. I know people that are those left-leaning people that you talk about. I'm friends with a couple of people that may have those views. Although sometimes they may not view me as such, but that's a whole nother thing. But I have people that I'm cool with. Like, okay, you on that side of the spectrum. It is what it is. But then it's like, hey, you forgot when it comes down to stuff like this, you have to be able to talk about it. You feel me? Like, you have to be able to have that conversation. And a lot of people are not willing to have that conversation, especially online, when it comes down to stuff like this. And it's crazy how many people are just lacking the basic comprehension skills, right? Like I was just sitting there watching some of your videos, talking to these people, and it's crazy how, like, they'll sit up here and try to talk to you, but they won't talk to me. Because it's
well,
funny.
I think you kind of go against some of their preconceived notions, so they can't have that, and they couldn't actually confront that.
Well, I think it's also too, I just kind of don't necessarily be in their mix either. I think that's the other thing, y'all. Like, I've noticed you sit up here and you'll go in their channel and you'll talk to them, and you'll initiate a conversation with them. Me, I'm just like, dude, you're a stupid piece of shit. Like, bro, the fuck. Like, I would just roast the fuck at you and just be like, and dare you to say something about it. Like, go ahead, try me. Like, and then I was just like, okay, you said this, and this. All right, bet, bro. Come on now, like, Ed and fucking his pedantic counter, like, bro, I actually went on this channel and I kind of like told him, I'm like, bro, like, you pedantic, basically, like, you notice how they always use these words for people that they don't like. Pay attention. Like, for those of y'all that ever want to argue with these clowns, like, if y'all, whenever y'all watch this, however y'all watch this, right? If y'all ever want to argue with these clowns, right? First of all, you're not really arguing. You're just, setting these clowns straight. Two, you notice how they always throw words in there where, like, they throw words that are like heavy. You know what I'm saying? Homophobic, transphobic, phobic, anything phobia.
Yeah,
because
definitely, like, all of them, sexist, racist, any of those
right,
very
and those
weighted
are
terms that they can weigh you down with.
Right, those are very, very weighted, and those are the things that a lot of people, like, oh, this person's racist, and it gets a rise out of people. It does. It gets a rise out of you, and then, but if you realize what the actual definition of racism is, or any kind of phobia, right? So a phobia is like a unwarranted fear or something, right? So if someone's arachnophobe, excuse me, somebody's arachnophobia, you know, they have this irrational fear of spiders. Some people act crazy when a spider comes. They act real
Yeah.
wild, right? And but what is homophobia? Like, what is transphobia? Like, I'm not scared of the fact that you're gay. Like, so what?
Yeah, but if you lay that accusation out, you don't actually have to deal with like any sort of issue that you're bringing up. Like, hey, I don't agree with this. You don't have to deal with that at all. You just say, hey, you're a bigot. I don't have to talk to you. Just conversation ended.
But
I
see,
think there
that's
is a
where the
term for
problem
it.
is.
It's yeah,
Go ahead.
and I couldn't agree with what you were saying more at the beginning about like what the internet is created for and how it's led to this pathway that we could have more communication.
Mm-hmm.
I think the term that has been coined for that type of deal is a thought terminating cliche. You don't have to actually like continue with the thought. You don't have to engage with it. You just yell out some sort of accusation. Conversation's over.
Mm-hmm.
I really hate that. That was what I went in there to actually try and talk to them about. Hey, I don't understand these accusations that you're laying forth. I would like to understand where you're coming from. And yeah, after talking to him, I still don't understand. Like you mentioned, it was just a
You're
bunch
not
of
going to.
that same accusation just getting
You,
thrown
you're
out.
not. I don't think you're going
And
to.
and
I don't think you're going to. No, I just no funny,
that,
no funny shit. Like, I don't think you're going to.
yeah. At this point, I don't think so either. I tried to attempt it, and yeah, I was told I went in bad faith, and I don't know. Fair enough. I guess they could see it that way, but like you were mentioning, like having friends kind of on both sides of the
Yeah.
aisle. Yeah, I grew up with like a mom who's super super liberal, and my dad is super right wing, and it's like I don't know. I've been able to talk to both sides, and I don't know. It's just not. I don't know. It's not. You can't completely other the other side and then just write them off.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe that's because I kind of grew up in the middle of it. I had to actually talk to them, but yeah, it seems like both sides do have points, and you might want to actually find out what it is so that you could actually contend with it instead of just yelling like, "Hey, I don't have to deal with you. You are now another," which I feel like is their tactic.
Right. I think it nails it perfectly, right? Because that's exactly what they do. And it's like, how do you how do you live with yourself? Like, how do you like what how do you grow as a person that wants to, according to these people, and these are the same people that complain that claim to be this all encompassing, we're so much more caring than the other side. We're so much more this than the other side, and we're so much more understanding. And on the surface it works, because I actually dealt with some shit like this some years ago. If you go back on
Hmm.
my YouTube channel, I actually talked about it, because like I'm, as a black guy, I do agree to an extent that we could afford more representation. I do agree with the fact
For
that we
sure.
can afford more, representation, whether it be in media, diversity, and all of these things. But you know, I got with people that were thinking the same thing, but then it turned to be more of diversity of just simply skin color instead of diversity of thought. You understand what I'm saying? It became
For
more
sure.
of, oh, you have to think like us, you have to move like us. Us as black people, we're victimized by white people. And I'm like, nah, bro, that's not always the case, because I've grew up in situations, I've seen shit, and I'm like, bruh, how the fuck are you gonna sit there and blame the white man when we out here, killing our own people, you know what I'm saying, at an alarming
For
rate?
sure.
And the things that we'll do to our own people, not just killing them literally, but like just mentally killing them, bringing them down. And how many times have we've argued with people, you know or I've been outcasted by the same group of people that complained or talked about, um that have talked about diversity. Matter of fact, if you there's a bigger YouTuber by the name of Gothics that I follow. um
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, she got hit when she disagreed with the Black Little Mermaid, and she didn't even. The crazy thing was, she was left leaning at the time, but
Hmm.
she was like, she just had a bit of common sense. Was like, hey, look, why are we so fixated on this character's race? Why, And
Yeah.
when I tell you the pushback that she got, it was horrendous. Like, it was. it was, man, it was so bad to the point where she had to step away. She did a whole 180. She ended up getting, like, her viewpoints are completely different now. She's a little bit more on the conservative
Really?
side now, but you
Yeah, I was
know,
gonna say last I checked, it was kind of conservative, so it does seem like that completely shifted from there.
yeah,
But
she's more conservative now. I wouldn't necessarily say because of that, but I think
mm,
that definitely had a big deal in that. She now goes to church, which is ironic because I grew up in church. I'm not in church anymore. I I actually had some shit that happened to me in my family, which I'm like, nah, I don't want to deal with church folks like that. I personally don't want to. Um,
yeah, for sure.
and I've like, so I understand how people, I understand, like, when I understand both sides of the thing, I understand how people have this problem with the church. I understand where people have the problem with the heathens or whatever, but it's like, at the end of
Hmm.
the day, let people live their life. At the
Yeah,
end of
and I
the
mean it's a
day,
deeply personal journey too. I mean, like it's everyone's whatever
it, ex-
journey of their own to go on.
exactly. And like I said, one thing I did take, and I've argued with church folks before about this because it's funny as hell. Y'all don't understand, like, just because I left the church, it doesn't necessarily mean that I abandon teachings. You know what I'm saying? One of the biggest things
For
I
sure.
carry is, what was considered the golden rule. The Bible says, I don't remember the exact scripture, but I always carry it with me. This: be not deceived, God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's something that I learned, that just treat people the way you want to be treated. Period. Like,
Yeah.
that's basically what I got with it. That's why I'm a lot more patient when it comes down to people sometimes. I do try to give people that benefit of a doubt. I do try to listen to folks and understand where they're coming from. It's one thing to listen, and there's also, if I don't agree, that's cool. That's different. That's another thing. But, like, at least give them that space to say, hey, look, this is what it is. This is what you feel about it. Well, what makes you come up with that thing? Why? I want to know your thought process. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
for
it's
sure.
a lot. And just going across this journey, like, and I don't claim to be perfect at all. Like, I've gone back and
Yeah.
forth with a couple of YouTubers before. Um, I've said some shit out of pocket.
Yeah, I guess I have now
Right.
too.
I've said some shit out of pocket. I've you know
Oh yeah, we all
I
have.
I mean, it's just life. Like, but then again, it's like when you cross people, I think a lot of times people are looking for that gotcha moment. If you Everybody's looking for that gotcha, and
I think so.
it's everybody's like clawing to try to get that fame. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I would love to get paid for what I do on YouTube. Like, I really
Yeah,
do. I
for
think,
sure.
I think I got the juice as far as I'm concerned. Shit, I got the
No, it's
shit.
definitely entertaining, man.
I got
Yeah, I can't tell you how many of yours have just been kind of binging and stuff. Your channel is awesome, man.
appreciate it.
But
It's a journey
yeah,
for
you
me.
definitely have a way to. Yeah, I mean, I guess everything is kind of a journey for everybody in
Right.
their own individual
True.
paths. But yeah, man. When you're saying you get what it takes, like you're not wrong. Like you are very. I don't know. How would you say
I try,
charismatic?
bro.
It definitely makes you want to
Thank you. I
watch.
appreciate it. I try to
Uh,
be chill though. Like, I just try to, because, like, sometimes I'll just be looking at stuff. I'm just like, do I want to say this? I'm like, ooh. Oh, it is like, I kind of let it slip in my last video, my last live, talking about the Eric July detractors. And it was funny because one of the dudes, I think, was it Dane? They had a picture because Ripperverse Goalpost had a video up of the biggest detractors of Eric July, and it locked on the picture of Dane. And, and I
yeah.
said, if memory serves me correctly, I said he looks like either like a failed rock band member or somebody that looks like they like to touch kids, one of the two. And I was just like, when I looked
Well,
back, when I thought back at it, I was like, oh shit, I can't believe I said that. But then it's like, I was like, I'm not necessarily wrong here, but
yeah, I mean, he did used to be in bands apparently, so you got one of those
oh
right.
shit.
And yeah, he did recently put up a another stream in defense of somebody who wants to destigmatize. Yeah,
Okay,
some very nasty things with
okay. So
kids.
let me say, okay, on that, right? And I'm gonna say this, and this is where eyebrows are gonna raise, right? The only thing that these people have a somewhat point on, and I say somewhat, is because when it comes down to, I'll even make it simple like this. Okay, dealing with with women, right? How easy it can
Mhm.
be misconstrued that you're being a creep towards women, right? It's the same
For
thing
sure.
with children. Matter of fact, it's worse, right? So say you get
Yeah.
caught up in a situation where you accidentally bump into a kid, and it's a young girl, and you accidentally bump into her, and she goes tells mommy that this white big burly white man bumped into me and made me feel uncomfortable. You could be going down the
For
long,
sure.
you know
I
what I'm
mean, like,
saying?
yeah, you got to listen to the kid. So,
Right.
you got to take that
Right.
serious.
But then again, you have to also take into account everything. And I think that's where the
Mhm.
destigmatization, that is the only thing I'm going to say about destigmatization, that I will say that we have to listen and take things at on a case by case basis. Right.
For sure. I don't think that there should be, any blanket, like there's an accusation, so you are now cast out of
Yeah.
society. But I think he was going differently with the
Right.
destigmatization. He was saying that so that people could then get treatment. So like the actual like offender or whatever. So it wouldn't be like
Mm,
an accidental accusation. It would be like so they could go get it cured from a doctor. I'm not sure that that exists is the only thing.
mm.
Because
I mean, I could think
as
of a
far as I
couple
knew, the whole
cures.
like conversion, but I mean, like as far as I knew, like conversion therapy would be like the way that you would change that,
Mm,
right? And that's not supposed to work. So I don't know exactly what the destigmatizing it would help if there's no way to treat it. So
right. I mean,
I don't
you
know.
you really have stuff like,
I'm open to the conversation and to hear why, but
yeah, same.
yeah, I don't know. It just kind of sounds like a bad idea to like normalize that
Right,
or
exactly.
whatever.
My thing is, you have to literally look at, and this is also part of the thing too, that we have to, as I'm not a parent by no stretch of the imagination, but first of all, I got to get somebody to like me first before I even think about having kids. But 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 like honestly, when it comes down to stuff like that, as a parent, like this is where parents have to be active in their kids' lives. I think that's the
Yeah.
biggest problem right now. One of the biggest problems is that we've thrown our kids to the TV, the internet, and then we're trying to force these laws in place, or these things in place that basically screw over creators more
Mm,
now. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. I don't,
for
like I said,
sure.
I personally believe that it's up to a parent, bottom line, that if you're a parent, then you're supposed to be making sure your kids are good, you know what I'm saying, under your care. You know what I'm
For
saying?
sure.
Yes, it's good to have other people, teach your child, but ultimately it's up to you as a parent to parent your kids. So
For
like
sure. It should
throwing
be.
throwing your kids on a video game, or throwing your kids on a YouTube videos, and not monitoring what they're watching,
Hmm.
is a problem.
For sure.
That's
Yeah.
that's where I
It is
that's
not
where
the
I
same
look
as
at
a
it.
parent. Yeah, the parent
Because
definitely
we
has a
just
role
put
there
we
that,
just put the shit out there, and we just find people to resonate with. That's basically what
yeah.
our job is. Like my job isn't to, even with my fans, is like, if I do have fans or people that enjoy my content, my job isn't to, I can encourage them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can, hell, if I do have a mentor program, sure, I can do that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it is up to you as a functioning adult to make adult decisions.
For sure.
That's
Yeah.
where my mental is when it comes to this. And it goes back to like these detractors. I feel like they don't have that mental there. It's like they need these people to
Yeah.
control them, and it's like, bro, you fucking don't. You don't need fucking Marvel and DC to do these things for you. And I'm like I don't know, man. Like I just feel like it's so many things wrong with these people. Like I'm watching these detractors. It's like so much shit that like I want to say, but I don't, because it's like they're not willing to listen. They're not willing
Well,
to
that's so.
listen to anything outside of their yes men.
Hmm. You're completely correct. And that's like kind of self-created. Like we were kind of talking about Dane before. He blocks everybody who he basically blocks anyone on Twitter. Before I'd ever interacted with him, I tried to follow him just to see whatever. Like 5 minutes later, he blocked me. I had never made a tweet before, so I don't know. There was no like prior tweets to go off of. He just looked at who I followed and decided I was a bad person because of that.
Yeah.
And then he tweeted out like 5 minutes later, "I block fascists." So somehow I was also claimed a fascist in that.
But see, you notice a problem.
yeah.
You notice something, right? And I want you to pay attention to something. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. You notice how they're so against fascism, right? He says, "I block fascists," but what does Dane do?
Well,
what does Dane do?
It's definitely.
What does Dane do?
He would argue it's authoritarian, but it's not fascist. He draws a little distinction between the two. But you're right. Like he basically creates this echo chamber where he won't hear opposing points of view. He doesn't really want to explain himself. So, like, if you get in the chat and ask him a question, he'll block you. That was what I was blocked for. Yeah.
But these are the tolerant ones, mind you.
The tolerant. Yes, exactly. And you were calling them detractors, but they don't see themselves that way, and they can't see that like all they're doing is just attacking creators like Eric July. It doesn't seem like they're actually like championing anything. I'm really hard pressed to tell you like what they're fans of is the thing. Like
apparently they're
finally
fans
after
of
watching a few of their videos,
they're fans of comics.
I know that they're fans of comics in general, and then I actually saw them like talk really positively about the movie The Big Lebowski from the 90s. Okay. I really like that flick. It's a good flick, and you could tell that there was some passion behind it. But none of their other content is like that. It just kind of seems like it's just attacking these creators who just seem to be doing their own thing. I don't see Eric July like hunting them down and making it a point to rub like his comics in their face. They seem to be going out of their way to comment on everything that he's doing.
Well,
it just seems.
And
odd.
I said this in a live before. I said this in a live, and I think you probably gonna hear it again. But Eric, for all intents and purposes, right? They should be worshiping Eric July.
Yeah, he's an independent creator, and not only that, he's a creator of color, which is awesome. He's representation, and he's doing it himself. Like that seems awesome.
He's independent, black man, doing it himself. Like. Well, yeah. I mean, that goes back to point one, but you get the point.
I also kind of got caught up.
So he's doing his own thing.
Like he seems like he's everything that they're trying to get.
And he employs and he's able to back what he says. He's backed what he says. He's hired other people, right? And people just based off of merit. This is all I've been saying. If you're gonna hire people, right, on diversity, let's get more people in there based off of merit. All right.
Yeah.
And sure. Eric July has literally done what these people have been begging Marvel and DC for. So why the fuck are they mad? Oh, well, he's libertarian. He's whatever. I can't think of the term. Anarcho-capitalist.
So they won't even give him that much credit though, because he's a contributor to the Blaze.
So he's right wing.
He's not
That's
even
right.
libertarian. He's really just a shill.
Yeah, he's really right wing, y'all. Exactly. Like no, he's
he can't be there to oppose the opinion and offer them a different point of view.
Right.
Instead, he has to be Glenn Beck's point of view or whatever.
And that's the problem. And I think that boils down to the problem with these idiots. And there's no another nice way about it. You know what I'm saying? Because they literally sit up here and they talk about how anybody to the left of anybody to the right of Bernie Sanders is basically right wing. So they're like, well, either you believe with us. So that basically boils it down to either you believe what we say, or you're conservative, or you're right wing, or you're alt right. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm just in the middle. Like, what are you talking about? I'm in the middle. Oh, that's even worse because you don't pick a side. No, bitch, I do what the fuck I want. How about fucking that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it seems more honest to not just go along with a party and instead like actually look at each individual issue and kind of see where you fall on.
Like,
I don't know. To me, that seems more honest, and that's why I chose that route. But I guess to each their own.
It
might be
easy.
A lot easier to just know this is the good side, this is the bad side.
And
I don't know. That might be easier.
And that's crazy because these are the same people that they want something that's different than how they act, right? And they always try to do this black and white thing, and it's not. It's one thing I've learned is like this world isn't always black and white. There's always something. There's some shades of gray. There's some shades of there's gray, and there's like a an off-white. there's a a dark gray, there's like 2 shades away from black, it's life. That's literally how life works.
No, it
and
is.
and
It's a cognitive distortion to see things as just black and white. Like it's literally something that a lot of people go to therapy to help
that's
combat.
why I
But
left the
yeah,
church.
everything is a
That's
gradation.
why I
Hmm.
that's one of the reasons
Exactly.
why I left the church, because one of the biggest things that I felt with church is like, one of the biggest topics that people talk about was like, oh, the whole fornication thing and sex and stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of another term for it is the all or nothing thinking, and that
Yeah,
is definitely a lot of it, good or evil.
exactly. And the crazy thing about it is having sexual desires. And like one of the things I learned early was like certain things are just part of life, right? I was talking with
Hmm.
Gothics in one of my earlier live streams where the Empress Court podcast, talking about why I don't really like talking about social topics. And I was talking about Gothics, and at one point, so I invited her into my live. We talked, um, and she was just telling me about about churches like that, and I told her, I was like, there's one story in the red, because I grew up in church. I could have been a youth pastor at one point, could have been, but I decided not to go that route because it was just like I just felt like I was too much in the box. But anywho, and this is before the church shit happened to me and my family. But one of the Bible verses was, or passages in the Bible was talking about I don't know if you're familiar with the Bible, but Old Testament,
I'm pretty familiar.
Old Testament children of Israel, when they were traveling the wilderness, once they got escaped from Egypt, right? Um,
Hmm.
there was for the longest time they were traveling in different cities. They were going to different cities to conquer them, right? Because God had told them, "Hey, I'm giving you these lands to conquer, this, that, and the third."
Hmm.
And they were traveling. I want to say it wasn't Jericho, but it was another city that they were traveling to. The children of Israel sent 2 spies out. I don't know if you remember the story with the 2 spies that were sent to
I do.
a city to go check out the city. Uh, Long story short, the city officials got word of it. So what they tried to do was they were scouting the city, and cities back at that time they were basically encased in walls,
Yeah, fortified.
fortified cities and stuff. So they heard it, and they was like going around and saying, hey, if you see these people, let us know, this, that, and the third, so we'll off them out, stuff them out. So there was a harlot that heard about, that the Bible calls her specifically, she was a harlot.
Yeah, you don't generally hear that
Right.
term too
Yeah,
much,
she
but
was
yeah, I always like that
she was
term.
a harlot, you know what I'm saying? And she basically heard about what the children of Israel done, and she was like, hey, look, I want to be, I want to be a part of this. Like I heard what God has done for y'all, but I want to be a part. Like I want this, right? So she heard about what happened in the city, and she takes the guys, the 2 spies, hides them on the roof. And the guys come to the house, and she's like, I haven't seen them. You feel me? Like I ain't seen these niggas.
Yeah.
Like I ain't seen them at all. Like she lied basically.
Hmm.
And she made basically, so once they, everything coast was clear, she makes a deal with them and says, look, since I hid y'all, I want you to save me and my family. They ended up agreeing to it. They basically said, look, when we're going to be coming in a few days, this is what you have to do. When at the wall, because some of the people had like walls in the fortified parts of the city, you hang out, I think it was a handkerchief, like a long ass handkerchief, a scarlet handkerchief, right? Hang it down. That way we'll know to come see you, to come save you and your family. If you don't do it, and whoever's not in that house, they're not going to be saved. Point blank. So when they did and then of course when they did it, they went in there, ransacked city, they saved her and her family and whoever was inside, that this, that, and the third. That story stuck out to me for a big reason. She lied. And the Bible,
Hmm.
we always talk about how lying is wrong in the church, and lying is this and the third.
Sure.
And I was like, well, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I was like, God, well, she lied, but
Hmm.
lying's wrong. So, but she lied to protect the people of Israel. Like, but I'm like, but because I was so stuck on the fact that she lied. Like, so
Yeah.
the bottom line, what I ended up figuring out, like in this world, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm
For
saying? To
sure.
protect your own people. You know what I'm saying? If it is yeah, it might be a lie or it might be something, but at the bottom line, it was to protect her. It was to save her and her family. So sometimes in this world, you're gonna have to do. That's how I paralleled it. Somebody else could have took it different,
For
but
sure.
and that's one of the things that a lot of people don't understand, especially with church folks. I guess they forget that part for whatever reason, and they just think, well, oh, well, this is wrong, that is wrong. Well, you don't sit down and talk with these people, especially when you're witnessing. You don't talk to these people
Yeah.
and be like, well, what happened? You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Especially if you're trying to get them to go in your church. And it's always that, like you said, that all or nothing. And it becomes this, people, I guess people don't never fully heal from that or recover from that. It's always something that's repeated because,
For sure.
people that believe in, the devil or whatever, because the devil will bring that back to your remembrance. Hey, remember when you used to do this? Remember when you used to do that? Well, if you were stable and you be like, hey, look, I did this because I had to,
Hmm.
or I did X, Y, and Z because that was my life then. This is my, what I'm saying? It would make for much easier conversion instead of, just, condemning people all the time because we don't know their story. You know what I'm
For sure.
saying? Like eh, I make this comparison. I noticed this another way, and this is so funny when I realize this. You ever notice how Christians are like door to door salesmen?
There is a good portion of that. I mean, I guess there's a couple passages that kind of say, like you should try and basically sell the good word. But yeah, I definitely I can see the comparison.
So you imagine somebody talking to you, just chilling with you, and then trying to get to know you and this and the third, thinking you got a friend. But the minute they invite you to church,
Hmm.
and you don't go, well, I literally had that shit
Yeah.
happen to me. Actually, it was funny as fuck. I knew a guy he does Christian rap. I used to do Christian rap too in church too. That's a whole nother story one day. We'll talk about that. But
Yeah.
I
Sure, man.
did Christian rap, and that's how the guy knew me. And this is when I left church and I started doing my own little thing. And he was like, he would try to tell me to, oh, you need to come back to church. We ended up coming across each other on an event, like a music event,
Yeah.
regular music event. And he happened to see me, and we were sitting there talking. He's like, man, you need to come back home, this, that, and the third. The last conversation we had was, I want to say, some years ago. And the last conversation we had, it was like, hey man, you need to come back home. He basically reached out to me out of nowhere. Hey man, I know, you still dealing with this, that, and the third. Hey, it's time to come back home, this, that, and the third. I haven't said nothing to him, and he hasn't reached out to me since.
I've got not to get too into it, but I've
Oh,
got
go
a
ahead.
lot of similar stories in my background. My mom was like really searching when I was a kid,
Hmm.
so I don't know. I was baptized Catholic, then she went to like Episcopalian, then
Jesus.
Jewish for a while, then Quaker, then oh, what the hell is it? Unitarian, and then there was like two other ones. But
Whew.
anyway, it seemed like every time like we'd switch whatever denomination she was searching, everyone just like cut us off. It wasn't like you had actual friends in there. It's no, like we're doing the same thing at the same time, but that's it. Like if you're not a part of this, you're cut off completely.
Right.
I definitely understand that
It
as
it
well,
it,
but
it really does. It really does for those that are looking for actual genuine connection. It really does hurt. You know what I'm saying? Because it's
mhm,
something that
for sure.
you build those connections, and like when the shit that happened to me in my church, in my former church that I was at, um, that me and my family was together with, that we wasted literally 11 years with, and I think I talked about it in an old video where we were just there, first ones there, last ones to leave. I was over the music. I was, head musician, and it was just
Damn, that is not easy.
crazy.
Like that's a lot of work that goes
Oh,
into
first
this.
one, it was so, like, I've talked to people about it before, and I say, bro, look, it was so good to the point where, like, we was in there so tight to the point where, like, if I was still in that church now and that pastor called me, like, right now, I would stop what I'm doing, pick up the phone, and we'll be talking and be like, okay, hey, bro, I gotta talk to you later. Yeah, the pastor just told me he wanted me to go to the church. Like, no, like, and they were talking about stuff like that, and I'm like, nah, like, I just don't. I understand. Like I said, I completely understand now why there's this animosity towards the church. And I do
Mm-hmm.
understand that, yeah, you do have to have a personal relationship with God, of course. That doesn't change. But when you are dealing with a lot of different people that supposedly represent God and they start treating you like that, and then not only do they treat you with disrespect, they turn around and they hide their hands, or better yet, hide behind a cross because, oh, well, God said. Then what do you fucking like? What do you do? What do you say to that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Originally speaking, like, what do
Yeah.
you, as somebody that's just gone through some shit, like, what do you like? Somebody from the church just slaps you or something, for example, and you're like, well, God said this, well, God said that. Like, what are you gonna do? Get mad at fucking God? Like, what the fuck? Like, hey,
Yeah.
God, what the fuck you doing, dog? Why you tell this nigga to slap me, dog? Like, what the fuck? you know, like, how the fuck? Like, how do you do that? And it's like, and it really does a lot of hurt because that's the type of stuff that I dealt with for
Mm-hmm.
years. And then, and on top of that,
Yeah, for sure.
that was when I dealt with some shit with some former friends of mine.
Ugh.
Yeah, at the same time. Oh, and at the same time, ex-fiance wanted to be, wanted to, leave too because I was going through a little rough patch. And oh, that was fun. That was
Oh, that sucks, man.
that was
Yeah, it seems like when it rains, it pours.
yeah.
I know I was in a bad mental place, but yeah, it seemed like that's when like all the friends like, this is a little bit too
I,
much. I
I
don't know.
thought about it.
Not to
I
say I know exactly what you're going through
bro.
or anything like that, but
Oh,
oh man, that is tough.
it's
That
been that way.
when you need them the most, it's
Gone. It's out of there. And I
yeah.
like, so like, I'm at the point now to where like I understand people. Like, I understand those that legit have those gripes. I legit understand those that have those grievances. And with those people that, especially like the left leaning, I understand where they're coming from. But then
Oh, for
also,
sure. It seems to be compassion of a particular kind.
and I understand where they're coming from. But then this is where I tell people, hey, look, you have to know where to, like the people in like the conservatives say, like a lot of people hate, you got to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. You know what I'm saying? And that's what that shit means. It's like you have to literally figure out, what do I do? You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
not an easy one size fits all thing. I can tell you this right now, and I'm still dealing with some shit. I can tell you it's not easy as fuck.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, it's a lifelong
it
journey.
is.
Like,
It,
yeah, I don't know. I know I'm definitely dealing with
it is,
everything I've
and
ever kind of dealt with.
exactly, and that's something that a lot of these people don't understand. And in this, and like I said, it could be on both ends of the spectrum. And so my thing
Hmm.
is, like I said, when I look at these detractors, you know, of Eric July, it's like, bro, y'all just need some help. Like, y'all need something. Like, because at the end of the day, y'all are legit just like, y'all can't be that dumb to the point where you're literally doing the same thing that you're trying to call other people out for. Like, you can't accuse I can't accuse so and so of being racist, and then I'm over here talking shit about this, that, and the third. And then you want to sit up here like, I'm gonna use what's his name? The one that, the pedantic dude. Um yeah,
Ed,
Ed.
pop
Yeah,
counterculture.
that motherfucker. Okay. I, I I was so tempted to tell this dude to get a towel. Like, I would have talked this dude like on the live stream. Like, I'm tempted to tell that dude to get a towel and wipe the water off your back.
Be careful, man. Apparently that's apparently the Mexican N word.
I
I don't know.
know
My
that, but see,
my friend
the
was
way I said
yeah.
it.
No, exactly. But my friend was trying to explain to him, like, hey, you guys are against slurs, but you're actively calling Eric
Uncle
July
Tom.
and Uncle
Yeah.
Tom, which is just crazy. And he's like, yeah, and I'll say it again. And he did. And then my friend tried to tell him, like, you understand, like, that would be just like, somebody trying to call you, or he didn't even say you, calling a hardworking Mexican a
Yeah.
wetback. For that, he just went off on him, banned him, said, you just called me the Mexican N word, and just went
I
off
don't
on him.
care. He's just
It
gonna have to
is
be mad at
really
me.
crazy. Like, I don't understand how you could be so, it's okay for me to use this slur, which is, depending on how you want to define slur, either way, it is an insult going directly at one particular race, and that is it. So this would be, okay, then call it a racial
You
epithet.
said it.
Either way, you would completely denounce anyone else for doing this if they were on the opposite political aisle. But you and your guys, it's okay if they do this because he doesn't agree with you politically. Eric July doesn't have the same opinions. That seems so unfair. It seems like it should be a principled position.
Exactly. You said
Personally,
the
I
key
don't
word.
like slurs, so
You said the key word. No, but see, here's the thing. You said the key thing. If it were the other way around, like you're saying the key thing, right? And that's where I'm at. I'm like, bro, if
yeah, for
you
sure.
wouldn't like it if I called you wetback. So, but like I said, that's why I'm saying if I told him to wipe the water off his back, I wouldn't be necessarily wrong because I've had people call me the N word. It to me, it don't make me no never mind. So at the same time, I'm already thinking of 15 ways to roast your stupid ass because guess what?
For sure.
Now, because now at the end of the day, you've already shown disrespect, right? So now these are the same people that they talk tough online. Look at every single one of them. Look at every single one of them, and this is why I can stand 10 toes. And I've said it on Twitter, I've said it on my lives, and I'll say it again here, right? If somehow Eric July himself lumped me in with those crack smoking leftists or the crack smoking detractors, as he always calls them,
well,
my
I'm not sure he's
word,
wrong in some cases.
my word would still stand. Now, because like I said, it would still be it would be a mistake on his part. But even if he were to mistakenly say it, like, lump me in with these cats because I'm going back and forth with them because it happens, life happens.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My word would still stand. I can still stand on my word. These people flip flop more than a fish out of water. You feel me? So these motherfuckers, like, and I'm watching them, and I'm not just saying it to be for hyperbole's sake. Like, I've sit up here and I've watched these people, and I'm like, yo, these niggas is crazy. Like, y'all, what you just said, it's not okay to be racist, but then you're over here being racist toward a black guy.
Yeah.
But then the same thing I've argued with black people about this. Okay, you're being racist towards white people. Oh, well, black people can't be racist. Bitch, where does that say that in the fucking dictionary, you fucking whole bag?
Well, that's the thing. It's been redefined so that it would be the P plus P equals R, power and privilege, or power and privilege.
Never was that.
It's a way of redefining it to win an argument. If you're going with that definition, fine. Apparently, that means, only the most powerful could ever be. I don't know.
But even then,
I just
that's
would
wrong.
want to go with a more principled stance that this type of action is wrong.
But even then,
let's just not attack people for innate characteristics.
But think about it. But even then, it still would be fucked up, right? It'll still be wrong because it depends on who has the power, right? So if we go to Africa,
is it now not? That's a good point. And then okay, so are we only going to do it on one level, like one graph of power? Like, is it only essentially like financially, or could we also look in like whatever industry it is? Like, should we keep looking at power dynamics and keep breaking them down by every intersection we could as well? It doesn't seem like that's what they want to do, and that would be almost impossible to do.
Exactly.
Like, look at the power dynamics in any given situation. Like, is somebody a superior at work? Is somebody whatever?
Right.
It seems like even that they're putting weird limitations in there where if you just had the more principled stance, like, hey, let's not use slurs,
right?
Like, try and attack the actual argument. At least that's what I try to do. That being said, I love roast comedy and stuff. There is a place for attacking people, for roasting people.
Right.
I'm totally down with that.
I feel that.
But it's not my go-to because maybe it's just because I'm not
I grew up in that
best at it.
I grew up in that thing.
Yeah,
I grew up in that. Like, I grew up in the era where, speaking of comedy, I grew up in that era where like people would make fun of you, right? Like people like in that area, and sometimes people would do it in a way where, like, for example, hey, yo, Gray Poupette, man, you got that nice shirt, dog. That's a nice shirt, man. That shirt's so nice. And you if you don't know better, if you don't have the social
second guess,
if you don't have the social aptitude to realize that, I've never talked to LG a day in his life, and he's over here commenting on my shirt. Every time I talk to the LG, he's always picked on me. Now all of a sudden he's over here, talking about my shirt, like, or talking about my shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck is going on here? What? No, it's like, oh, if you don't have that, then it's gonna go over your head. You know what I'm saying? Or some people will say you look like this at a third. Like, I grew up in an era where, like, look, you had to clap back. You had to learn how to say something back.
Yeah.
Something like,
And
come on, bro. Like at
I
least
do want to clarify. I'm not like above it all or anything like that.
yeah.
I'm just not going to instigate it. But yeah, like
I might.
I want to go into like a conversation. But you know, if it becomes some sort of you know, roast or whatever, fine, I'll participate for sure.
Right,
I'm not just gonna like lay there and take it, but
yeah,
I don't know. I'd like to find out the argument instead of just going in and like attacking their
right.
physical features or whatever.
It's
but
fair. It's fair.
I love being able to clap back for sure. If you're coming at me, I'm gonna dish it back.
I feel it. It's a skill set for sure. You know, saying that somebody,
Yeah,
you know, saying that.
I think you got it. You got me beat there. I'm definitely not the most skilled
Bro,
at it.
I'm telling you, it's a lot, bro. Like I wasn't either. Like I said, I had to like. There's been times where like I had to like get somebody. Like I've had a couple of people wanting to fight me one time. It was I think was I in I was in a community college once, and it was funny as hell because like at the time, like you know, I'm pretty close to my moms or whatever. So I live with family, so I'm pretty close to my moms, and you know, we were like, you know, we went to the same community college at one point, and you know, people saw it, and you know, people love to do that whole picking on you because your parents right there type shit, and they were picking on like on my shoes, and you know, my mom at growing up, my mom was like, she spoiled us, but she didn't always like, you know, type shit. It was weird. Like she would like give us stuff that we wanted, but like when it came down to like the Jordans, the stuff like that, like fashion type stuff, like maybe it was just maybe that wasn't necessarily my thing, or at the time, or what something that I was into because I was more on the nerdy side, like gaming and shit like that. Whatever, I don't know, but like there would be times where like I would always have the shirt tucked in, you know, that type of thing, and people would make fun of me because of that type of shit, you know. So like I started noticing that and picking up a pattern one day, and I kind of clapped back at this dude. This dude was sitting there trying to talk about me. And he was like, oh, well, you know, talk about my mom's or whatever. And I was like, well, I mentioned something along the lines of, you know, at least I have my mom or something like that. And, you know, people were like surprised that I started clapping back. And, you know, and they were like, you know, you know.
Yeah, you got to do the ooh on that. I mean,
you know, they was like, yeah, you know, at least my man, you know. He's like, man, I'm gonna beat it. Like, hey, I'm like, dog. I'm like, I just sat there, like, dog, don't be trying. Oh, now you want to fight me? It was fun when you wanted to make the joke. But now I clap back. Now you want to fight me. And then, like I said, that's how a lot of people are, especially on the internet now. It's like people, they want to do all of this fight back shit. Like, no, you clap back. You was talking this shit earlier. Not now somebody out here doing it and doing it better than you. And it kind of sting a little bit. It kind of, you know, you ever, you know, box with somebody, you know, hit you with that little one on the chin. Like, oh, wait, that hurts. You know, wait. You know, oh, wait. You know, now you want to get into survival mode. Nah, bro. Keep that right there. Cause I don't do that. I don't do it. I hunt to kill. I don't hunt to bang.
Yeah, I mean, it's more humane that way.
It is. But you know, you gotta handle your business. You can't let these people punk you out, dog. I just feel like honestly, it's just these people are weird, man. Like I definitely I look up to Eric July. I look forward to his content. I'm actually glad I was able to buy his shit. I'm glad I was able to buy his comic, and it was just able to support that because honestly, I feel like Eric, I got to give him credit where credit is due because he's literally put his foot down and put his money where his mouth is. He's literally said, "Look, he's a comic." Like a lot of people say that he's grifting. He's not a comic book fan. Like that's the furthest from the truth. Like go back and look at his
everything
shit.
that I remember from like his early days was all about comics.
His whole channel is comic aesthetic. Like, but somehow,
for sure,
somehow he's grifting.
Well, the idea or the explanation that I've heard is that he's not currently interested in what the industry is doing, therefore he's a grifter. And it's like, but wait, but he's doing it. So if you're not interested in where it's going, so you're trying to change the direction on your own, I don't know, what is that grifting? Like, wouldn't it, I don't like this, but I'm going along with it. Wouldn't that be grifting? Right? I don't know. I guess I don't understand.
Or nipping at somebody's heels that is doing something that would be the grift.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess I just don't quite understand how he's a grifter, but
because
I see that accusation come up a ton.
He's not.
Fair enough. But yeah, I would like that kind of explained, like what the grift is.
You're not gonna get a clear answer. You're not, and that's the reality. I come to pick up kind of patterns kind of quick when it comes out of that. You know, I know what a pattern is. People, we know how to. I see that. What is a pattern? Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately, I spent way too long in a conversation trying to figure out what somebody else meant by a pattern.
Right.
But yeah, I agreed. Like we can all say like, okay, this is clearly a
Right.
pattern. I just the way that they were using it was as a way to basically not have evidence. Dane's big thing was you need to zoom out and take a big look because any individual incident could be explained away. So don't actually look at any individual incident. Just look at a pattern. That's how you can label somebody. I don't
That
know. Just
doesn't
with those types of
that
accusations,
doesn't
it
work.
seems like you'd have to actually look at evidence. So that's why I was trying to figure out his pattern. But I agree with you. I also use patterns.
Yeah.
You know, usually it's not a way that I'm able to label somebody and then write them off.
Right.
But yes, I do recognize
I
patterns.
think we all
I mean, we all do.
do. I think as humans we're supposed that's what makes us different than animals because we are able to, for the most part,
Yeah, for sure.
we're able to, some animals could do it, but like we're able to do it to an extent to where like it's just beyond what regular animals can do. But like these clowns are like legit. Like Eric July, like he has the customer support down. He does really good with customer support. He's transparent. Like he's literally broken down.
Well, and he seems to be willing to talk to anybody, which is just like crazy. These guys are not willing to do that.
He breaks down his entire site. Like he
Mhm.
broke down that like when people said that it was the biggest one, it was a crowdfunded campaign, right? And it almost would have worked if you didn't pay attention, because even Eric July broke it down himself. He said, no, we're using our own site. We're using pre-order
Yep.
campaign because one with Kickstarter, your product can't be finished. If memory serves me correctly, your product can't be finished. It cannot be completed or any shape or form, right? If I think that's terms of service, if memory serves me correctly.
I think so.
If I'm wrong, if somebody reading this in the comments, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Yeah, I'll be willing to concede that point. But in this case of Eric July, the product is already there. He put his own money into it. That's the other difference with crowdfunded. Other people are already putting money into it before. So
yeah,
with the pre-order campaign, which is what Eric's doing, the product's already finished and it's already pretty much ready to ship. It's just that he's paying to put the costs out. Like he's paying to basically recoup the cost. Like, well, we're paying to recoup the cost. Excuse me. That makes sense. That's what the pre-order is for. That because he already put his money in.
It does make sense.
He's already put his money in.
I've heard him kind of explain a couple different times that why this was a better method than actual like GoFundMe or Kickstarter type deals.
I pay attention.
I've seen a few different campaigns kind of on there that don't ever get the full funding or don't ever like fully whatever they call that give out the additional
content
incentives.
Yeah, the fully fulfillment. Yeah, the extra fulfillment.
Yeah, exactly. So it seems like there's a bunch of issues, and then they also like take a cut of it. And do you ever actually get like the direct communication with like the audience? Where this way, if there was an issue, you don't have to go through a third party. You could just go directly to them. They could get it resolved. It seems like there's a bunch of issues with it. A bunch of pluses. But yeah, then you'd also have to have the people to actually like maintain that and make sure that it goes through and everything.
Which Eric does.
You'd have to be at a certain level to. Yes, exactly. But even then, like with all that transparency, apparently it's not enough for a lot of the detractors because they're still pointing out, like, yeah, but this is all on his site, so we don't get to see the raw data.
The crazy thing, he shows you.
Data?
He shows you.
Yeah, but I mean, like, would you do the same thing for like any other company? Like, hey, Marvel isn't giving me the raw data. I need to know exactly how much.
They would laugh at you. They would laugh at you, like, bro,
Yeah.
if you're not an investor, they would laugh you off and say fuck you and go on about a day. Matter of fact, here's your t-shirt, maybe, and then you'll turn around and your Disney Plus is gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah.
Like, get out of here with that shit. Like, but Eric July understands that, like, that level of business. And if anything, like I said, these creators, they need to be taking notes. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to do exactly what he's doing. You may not be able to be as transparent as that. You may not want to be able to show people the back end. You know what I'm saying? That's perfectly fine. That's understandable. But at least be respectable. And that's the crazy thing. And the other thing, that the biggest thing that they were talking about was it takes a book a year type thing, right? And like he even said, why there? right? Because of the success of the first book, right?
Yeah.
Because of the success of the first book, we had to up our warehouse. Like the man got $3.7 fucking million, dog. What the fuck? and people were
Like
wanting to buy
you
it.
can't just use a storage unit at this point. You need like an actual
You gotta
huge
you gotta
space.
up the you gotta be
Yeah.
able to up it and be able to ready for that. You know what I'm saying? And of course,
Well, and then he's not only upping like the actual physical location that it's at, but also the production. Like, if I'm wrong, didn't he bring on two other guys to do Alpha Core? And then I can't remember what the
I
other
can't
one
remember
is.
his name to do the Alpha Core. Is a big writer for Alpha Core. The name escapes me.
Yeah,
And
which
the
is
sisters
awesome.
for
Like,
Yaira
again,
for
he's
and for Yaira.
yeah, Yaira is the other one. Sorry that I was blanking on.
He
But
was he's
yeah, I
hiring.
totally would be interested in seeing where this is going. But it seems like, it sounds like he started in one kind of physical location, smaller, and the story being one book,
Yeah,
but it seems to be branching out. Every part of that business is. It seems awesome for him,
exactly.
and
I can fuck with that.
it's a little unexpected because usually it seems like the first copy or whatever is always the biggest one, but with the second one, it seems like it's going really well for
Yeah,
him. So that's awesome, and the trailer for it looked
yeah.
amazing. Just
I
the
liked it.
animation for that was
I
great.
wasn't I wasn't expecting the trailer. I was just like, hey, this is gonna be good. Because I didn't get the first one, right? I think I mentioned it before. I wasn't able to get the first one. Reason being because at the time my family and I we weren't in a position to get it. Now
For
yeah,
sure.
I'll we'll talk more about that off. Yeah.
I wasn't quite in this
Yeah,
world, in the world of this in the time, but I wish I had back the first
yeah.
one. But
I wanted to. I really wanted to. I just wasn't in a position to physically able to get one. Now that our family and I is a little bit settled in and we got everything going, um, we can. I was like, yeah. When Isom #2 came out, I was like, I asked Eric, I was like, hey, is there like a can we get like a bundle for like 1 and 2? Is there possible? Yeah,
yeah,
he answered. He said yeah. So I'm like, my ass got the
cool.
catch-up pack. I was like, all right, cool. Isom #1 cover C and Isom #2 cover B coming to me in a little bit. So I'm like,
That's awesome, man.
I'm
That
looking
would be
forward to it.
really cool to have that,
Oh
especially
man,
with all like the variants and like the cool color covers that he has. Like, I don't know.
yeah. The only thing I
I'm not
didn't
sure
get
which
was
one I'd want to go with.
I like B. B was the art. The art on B
I think
reached
that's
out
the
to
one
me.
that I like the most too. But
Yeah, C was
yeah.
good too, but it was like I don't have like I just wanted to get the both. I wanted to get both of them, and maybe if like I said, depending on how it goes, because I at least want to give it a shot. And that was the other big thing that I had to keep in mind, and these people don't understand that this is a completely new venture.
hmm
Period.
For sure.
Like this is a whole new venture, whole new thing, new IP. And this is one of the things that really kind of like I really like stood out about. I was like, look, y'all clamor for new IPs.
hmm
This is one,
Yeah.
and you're out here trying to shit on it. Like
Well.
y'all are so used to, and I put this on Twitter. Like these people are so used to shitty writing, mediocre writing, to where someone puts out something that doesn't answer all your questions in one issue. Now all of a sudden
hmm
it sucks or whatever. Like the story's got to get set up.
Yeah,
Right?
for sure.
Anybody that's done any bit of storytelling, whether it's verbal, written, otherwise, you have to figure out where you're going to start.
For
You
sure.
have to, especially if you're doing a long form story, you have to figure out how you're going to start this thing. You know what
hmm
I'm saying? If you can't get that going, then you're going to have a problem. And these people that are continuously criticizing Eric's work, I have yet to see anything remotely close from what they're doing. Anything. I don't see a lick of shit. I don't. I can't. I don't
Yeah.
see it.
Out of all the detractors, the only one that I know of that like has a comic is that Vito guy, and
Oh,
I'd be interested to see what Super Killer is, but
I'm not. I'm gonna be honest with you.
it doesn't seem like it's on that same level as
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Isom, but
I'm not
I
interested.
will hold a little bit of judgment until I actually see it. I don't know. That guy can be funny, but I don't feel like the criticism was great
Funny
on the
looking.
actual album. But sorry, please go
No, no, no.
ahead.
You,
Please be,
no, no, you good. I'm
please
gonna
be
be I'm
honest,
gonna be
man.
honest with you. I'm not sold on Super Killer. I'm really not. Like I'm not trying to be funny.
Sounds like an interesting concept to me. Is
Concept
mainly
wise,
the thing. I have no idea, like
yeah.
the execution or anything like that.
Concept wise, sure. I'll give you concept wise, but because of who's behind it, and how and
Hmm.
how he's kind of got off. To me, it looks like jealousy, right? Like, hey guys, I'm trying to do something too, huh?
I can see that. Definitely launching your book and mocking the other one at the same time.
And then people
It
doing fan
definitely
art of
appears that way.
what was that one that was just like really? I was just like, bruh,
so Super Killer doing the kneeling on
yeah. I was like,
Isom. That
yo,
was
I'm like,
even he seemed to be very against that at the time. Like he laughed at it, but he seems so uncomfortable. I don't think he commissioned the work. It appears to be somebody just sent it in, and his co-host showed it on the
oh
show.
yeah,
But
that and oh Dick,
somebody
yeah.
put thought into
And
that,
Dick wanted to
which
be stupid, and Dick
yeah.
stupid ass. I'm not even gonna lie to you, dog. That dude. This is why I start going in. See, this is why I don't be trying to go to.
Well,
I don't be
yeah,
all up under
yeah.
them.
And you just mentioned like a detractor that actually has a or actually is doing
Something, yeah.
something. He's the
I'll
only
give
one
him.
that I could think
I
of.
think, yeah, yeah, I will say that he's the only one that I see doing things like of
Hmm.
that nature. Like that's a detractor, or that's in that detractor sphere. I put it like that. But like the rest of them,
For sure.
I don't see him doing jack diddly shit. Hell, they could at least. My thing
Yeah.
is like the detractors could at least, at the very least, be like, "Hey, we're gonna go support Vito." We're
Yeah.
gonna
And I
support Vito. I haven't seen that.
he's a controversial character though, so I don't see a lot of people supporting Vito. He's done some funny things in the past. Like I did like his protest of the protest of Chappelle at
Yeah, I
Netflix.
saw
That
that.
that was pretty
That was
funny.
him. Yeah,
Kind of the whole like we like jokes.
I
Yeah.
didn't. I didn't put two and two
Yeah, it was him
together
and
that it
Dick.
was him at the first point. I didn't put that together. I didn't. But when I
Hmm.
saw it was him, I was like, "Oh, okay, that's him." Okay, but still stupid. Like, fuck.
And it's funny. He's done some really funny trolling stuff, but yeah, I'm not really. I don't know. I don't think the criticism that they gave Eric July and Isom is warranted or quite seems like in good faith. I'll put it that way. It seems like it's a lot of the exact same things that I don't know. They seem to be talking points that keep getting repeated.
Right.
Especially like the grammar of certain characters or something. It's like
That's
it can't just be like the way that a character talks.
right.
I know everyone keeps mocking those the cards that came out with the first series, where it's like, well, you understand this is from a character's point of view. They're written that way because it's in his language, like
Yeah.
the way that he would speak. But I don't know. Everyone seems to be going after that same
See,
talking point. It
that's
seems like.
partially why Eric July doesn't do it. Like, doesn't go after these guys. And I've noticed that
Yeah.
he doesn't really go after those guys for a reason, because like he says something like, I think he mentioned something along the lines of like, of course, they're gonna hate, people gonna hate regardless, but like their claims aren't warranted. Like a lot of that stuff isn't warranted.
Fair enough. But I mean, like with this whole, like monetize your
Yeah,
detractors, or
monetize the
I
haters.
can't
Yeah,
remember exactly his. Yeah, monetize the
all of
haters.
those.
It seems like he's willing to talk to anyone. Like he talked to Bob. He talks to most of the detractors if they actually tweet at him.
Yeah.
I know they're looking for that, but I don't know. It seems like he is more open to actual discussion than most,
Yeah.
and he wants to know the actual issue, and we'll deal with it. But
What you said
yeah, it
again, you
just doesn't
said
seem like.
actual issues. So like, and then that's where like
Yeah.
I've seen them go back and forth on Twitter. He's like, okay, so you have, like, they'll say something, and then like if it's like along the same way, like, okay, well, you haven't read the book then. Well, I did get the book,
Yeah.
and this, that, and the third. Well, if you read the book, you would know that this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? You would know certain
Hmm.
details. You would understand, well, what's going on. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's not like he's not willing to address issues. I think the thing is, like, I
Yeah.
know the biggest thing with Isom one was the issue with the shipping, international shipping.
Yeah,
That got, which got
which would
fixed,
be tough to figure out.
which I think he got
Yeah,
figured out in
yeah.
Isom too. So that's figured out now. You know,
I'm pretty sure I would fail or like drastically underestimate international shipping. Like every time I've tried to do anything like that, it's just, and it was on no scale like this. It was just like a single package. I feel like I've screwed it
right?
up every time.
It's tough,
I
and
don't know.
when you got people that want your comics. So I mean, I give it. I got to give the man his flowers while he's alive, and I give him his credit. I just feel like, honestly, like a lot of these people don't, like you said earlier, a lot of these criticisms have no merit. That they don't, and
Yeah,
it's just like,
it feels like they just keep using the same talking
it,
points.
so when
But
you say where, like, okay, well, show me how that he's this grifter. Show me how
mhm.
he's grifting. Show me how he's doing X, Y, and Z. And it's like you can't get a specific answer. It's like, like, oh well, he's this is a pre thing. It's a, okay. Well, he just said why he doesn't use Kickstarter. It, there's a
Yeah.
video that talks about that.
Well,
Well, this, that, and the third. What? No. He said, well, what's your proof? What's your source? Him. Like,
well, and some of the details in the comics, like his suit and everything like that. Like, I don't know. There's some kind of subtle information that he puts in there, but if he wasn't subtle with it and like kind of beat you over the head with the actual information, that would be a criticism too. That it's just he's forcing it on you, like he's treating us like we're children.
right.
I don't
But
know.
then we got Marvel and
There's
DC doing the
certain
same
things like
thing.
yeah. So it's I don't know. There's a lot of ways that this could go. The way that he has kind of set up the story, I am interested to see where it goes
Same.
from there. But
Well, I would know when I read the
and
book.
especially with them. Yeah,
I gotta read the book
well,
first.
fair enough. I would like to, purchase both of them, hopefully very
Right.
soon.
Don't
But
look. Don't pirate.
yeah,
Purchase.
I have not pirated it, but unfortunately, I think I know the whole thing through looking at other people's criticism of
Yeah.
it, and I don't know. I just don't feel like a lot of it's warranted. It feels like a lot of it he left open for future exploration, where they're
As
saying
you're
you didn't
supposed,
explain
as you're
this.
supposed to when you're
Yeah,
creating a fucking story, especially a whole universe. Like,
yeah,
I don't. Once again, it goes back to storytelling. Like, if you're gonna tell a story,
mhm.
you gotta leave something up to interpretation. Like, you gotta leave something up for the next one.
Especially if he had plans of kind of going more into like what Alpha Core is by actually expanding it into their own thing. Same thing with Yara. Like you understand that, hey, these were kind of here, and not necessarily Easter eggs because it's like,
Yeah.
there's supposed to be questions that you will get answered later,
Right.
but they're just supposed to, they're setups.
Right.
I don't know. It's, the initial issue. It's definitely going to be, it's not going to answer everything. If so, that would just be a criticism
Right,
as well.
exactly.
I don't
Which
know.
once again goes back into like this is why I don't bother with these clowns and just make fun of them. I just point and laugh at these motherfuckers. Ha 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 ha. Because these clowns don't. It's like they're so used to like and it's crazy because how they're so quick to praise. Eric's one of them that'll sit up here and that talks about the whole homophobia that I know you saw the back of the back and forth I did with him with Eric debunks or his but
Yeah.
I'm not grifting, but yet makes an entire channel nipping at the heels of Eric July, Geeks and Gamers, Melanie Mac.
I was
You
gonna
know what
say
I'm
Melanie
saying?
Mack seems to be a big one right now for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, that's the other one because the whole gay versus Christian thing. I'm like, y'all are just y'all are just retarded. Like I just y'all retarded, bro. Like and then like I'm like I can't take you seriously because I can't take Eric seriously because he doesn't even know what color to keep his beard for a week. He can't keep the same beard color for a week. I can't take you seriously. I can't.
That being said, out of his group of people, his style might be better than some of the others. So I'll put it that way. But at least it makes you kind of wonder what colors are going to be next. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I've never had the foresight to like match my facial hair with like my hat color or glasses color.
I
But
guess. I mean, it's if that's what keeps you coming back to the shuttle, go ahead, dog. If you, I mean, shit. If I wanted to see what,
I'm just saying, like compared to Bob or
yeah,
whatever, he's got some style.
right. I feel it. I'll let you have that. But I've seen more style in the Style magazine. Okay, I've seen.
It's not my style, but fair
Right.
enough.
I mean, if I wanted to wonder what color I get, I'll reach my hand into a bowl of Skittles. I'm just saying. I just. I'm sorry, I can't. It's too easy with these clowns. This is why they want to ban jokes because they make it too easy. They make it. They
That's
make
true.
it way
They are
too.
not a fan
They're
of
not a
comedy.
fan of comedy because they make it too easy. And if they do try to talk shit or they do try to make something about comedy or comedic, it's always sex jokes. It's always the dicks. It's always about I want to ram my phallus. Oh, suck my phallus type.
It does seem to be a go-to.
I'm like, bro, like,
I don't know why, but yeah.
bro, you're a sexual deviant head ass. Like, what the fuck wrong with y'all, dog? Like, okay, I get it. You like taking a pickle up the poop chute, okay? I get it. You like packing peanut butter. You know what I'm saying? That's an old term they used to call for those. You know what I'm saying? So okay, you got enough sugar in your tank to feed fucking 10 pounds of ants. Okay, whatever. I don't care. But leave me the fuck alone. Like, don't start with me because you won't win that comment. Okay? You won't win. I'm telling you. All right. I would
Yeah,
drag
and
you across the
from
floor tonight.
seeing a lot of the clapbacks, I don't see them clapping back that
I
hard.
drag you across the floor tonight. Talk about RuPaul, okay? I would drag. Oh shit! Oh, let me stop. I'm done. Somebody put me out. I'm on fire. But no, like man, this is it's crazy because it's like it's crazy because the assumptions that I've gotten out. Speaking of like kind of the kind of side away from this bullshit with them. Uh, I've dealt with like some of the detractors myself, and I've dealt with like one of the biggest things, especially because what I talk about is more of the injustices between men and women and stuff like not necessarily red pill content.
Yeah,
More like I'm just like I said, it's in between. Once again, back to how we talked about it before, like in between.
for sure.
And one of the things I've noticed a lot of is that a lot of women do get away with a lot of things that
For
are
sure.
just that need to be, and it needs to be called out. It needs to be addressed. And I've been told so many times that I hate women. It's hilarious.
I've been accused of
Fucking
that myself.
it is fucking hilarious how many times I've been told that I hate women allegedly by some random, you know, woman or some random woman that didn't like what I said or some guy in dress up, um, trying to or male feminist trying to appease a woman. Uh, it's hilarious because I'm like, bro, do you not realize that I actually work in a profession that's majority women? Like,
And
if
it
I
seems to be very female empowered as well. Uh,
like, and but even within, like, I've had to like literally go back and forth with a couple of girls that I know personally. It's like, look, you got to be careful with stuff like this. Like, you got to be careful. And I've told this to anybody. Like, for those who don't know, like what I'm talking about, like I work in a strip club, right? I work as a DJ in a strip club. Shit's fun as hell. Okay.
I bet.
Almost every night's a party. You know what I'm saying? We have a good time. I talk about my journeys, and the reason why I document my stuff or I'm working on that is because you get two types of content on YouTube, right? When it comes to shit like this, you either get people that glorify it or you get people that demonize it.
For
there's
sure.
no
It does
there's
seem
no in
like the
between.
extremes.
Yeah,
Hmm.
there's no in between. There's no realistic view. And you got people that follow the girls that are, just get ready with me as I make my money and this, that, and the third. And and then you got people that just sit up here and talk shit about it. And it's like, first of all, to the people that talk shit about it, why? Like, how you gonna sit up here and get mad at a woman that is exercising her right to do what she wants
Yeah,
with her body, like, and literally
for sure.
exercising, because that shit is, people think that shit's easy.
Yeah,
Bruh,
I I tried
bruh.
to just spin on a pole, and it's like, wow, that is
No.
incredible. Like I could never imagine, and let
How
alone like
much do
the
you weigh?
acrobatic stuff.
How much do you?
So I'm just under 300 right
You're just
now,
under
and I could
300.
not imagine doing that.
Okay,
Yeah,
these are like 100-pound women, dog. Like 100,
I know.
120-pound women, dog.
It is so strong, man.
Yo, and
Like
and
I couldn't imagine just holding my body weight with like one leg, like spinning. Like, dude, I'd be dead.
bruh, in heels, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh,
Bro, like, don't get me wrong. I gotta,
I couldn't imagine.
I'm not gonna, no, I'm not gonna say what, because I'm not gonna give the trackers any more information that they already need. But anyway, but no, like honestly, like the outfit, like what they wear, like don't get me wrong, like it's sexual in nature. Let's just call it for what it is,
Hmm.
and it's the job itself is one big ass gray area. Okay,
Oh, for
it's
sure.
one big ass gray area, and a lot of people don't understand that, especially when you try to regulate, do all these rules and shit. It really does put a damper on a lot of things, right? So, but anyway, like these girls work hard. You know what I'm saying? Night in, day out, whatever. Right? They work hard.
Hmm.
Yes, the way they're getting money might be unethical to somebody. Okay. But here's the crazy thing. We've been doing this for years, apparently. This has been going
Yeah,
on in our time for years. Okay. Just the nature of a guy wanting to talk to a girl and saying, hey, look, I want to provide for you. I want to do this for you. I want to do that. All you have to do is look pretty. All you have to do is look like this. All you have to do, you know what I'm saying? We're basically paying for it, right? In some way, shape, or form. We're
hmm,
paying for it. So why not? There's nothing wrong with a woman that decides that she wants to monetize. Inherently wrong with it. The
for sure.
problem that I have with it is when you start doing the men ain't shit routine.
Yeah,
Now, as a man,
definitely seems like it could lead to that because I'm sure there's horrible men that they have to
uh,
deal with, and I'm sure You know,
I wouldn't even say
it
horrible.
could be the worst of the worst, but
True.
yeah,
Some men are bad. Okay, some. But come on now. And I've told this to a
yeah,
couple of
yeah.
new girls. I told this to a couple of new girls. I was like, look, baby, you're grinding on a dude's dick for 5 minutes. What do you
Yeah.
expect? Do you expect him not to get hard? Like the fuck you think is gonna happen? Matter of fact, I take it a step further, and I've told new girls this too. Like, if you ain't got a dude sweating you, wanting to talk to you, you're not doing your job right. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I feel about
It's
it.
kind of the
You know what
fantasy.
I'm saying? If you can't sell
Yeah,
the
for sure.
fantasy, if a guy ain't wanting to talk to you, wanting to, hey, I want to take you out, or I look forward to seeing you, or is coming to see you on a regular, then baby, we got a problem. You feel me? Because you're supposed to be
Yeah.
selling, you're selling a fantasy. Like you're supposed to sell,
Mhm.
sell that. And if you have a problem, like yes, you have a boundary, right? And that's one thing I definitely get on, I try to get on girls about is have a boundary, a clear one. Like, don't be like, if a
Mhm.
guy's touching you and you don't want to talk to him, and that, once again, this is gray area, because some guys you can, say for example, me, you go to a strip club, right? Same dancer,
Mhm.
okay. She looks at, I could give her $20 and she's all over me. You know what I'm saying? Versus she goes to you got to pay her $20 just for her to look at you. You feel me? And
Yeah,
I'm
it
not
is
making
the fate that I am cursed with. But yes, I
you know what I'm
understand.
saying? Like, no, like I look, trust me, I'm same way for me. I feel you. Trust me. That's and it could be the same way either or. You know what I'm saying? In reverse.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So, but you have to make that boundary clear. You know what I'm saying? As long as the guy understands, especially when he comes in there, he
Mhm.
understands that. That's also the problem too. A lot of guys come in there not understanding the concept because they hear shit from their little friends
Yeah,
or whatever, or they hear something from
for
somebody, and
sure.
it's not. Like I said, my goal is to cover all bases. Like I did it before some of my older videos. I'm
Yeah.
gonna redo it. I'm gonna re-talk about it, and I'm gonna also talk with, have some girls in there and talk, some of my dancer friends that I know, talk with them and include that in there as well. You
That would definitely be interesting, man. Like
but
I know
like
it's a world that you know, there's interest in, but like you said, you kind of see it from the extremes. So
yeah,
I
so
think that would be a really cool view on it.
inside, like I try to give people like a little bit of insight, well, what's allowable on YouTube anyway, the
Mhm.
inside view
Yeah, for sure.
of what
That would
goes
definitely be
on,
tough.
and like just people need to understand, like especially now with OnlyFans and stuff like that. And I agree that sex work is work. You can't
Oh, for
convince me
sure.
otherwise, that there's work that goes into this shit. Okay, you
Oh
know
yeah, like it doesn't just come out of nowhere.
right,
Like
we have to
if nothing else, like you've got to keep posting, keep
recording
chasing, and stay on. Yeah,
recording
exactly.
videos, like how we doing now. Record videos, record content,
Yeah, yeah,
chop it up, make sure people get served. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Like we
hmm
have to. It's still work. It's like the same thing with like I said with content creation. It's just okay, geared towards that. And yes, I will agree that it's not for everybody, right? If you don't feel comfortable
for sure.
with the idea of multiple guys doing certain things or having fantasies about you, it's going to happen. Okay,
Yeah.
that's how we operate. Okay, there's, what I'm saying, like there's a couple of girls on I have a list of girls that I've worked with that if the opportunity presented itself and I had the money for, shit, I'll be up in that motherfucker right now. I wouldn't mind being in trouble behind. You know what I'm saying? Like, because one, I know I look at it from their, not only just by how they look, their work ethic. You know what I'm saying? These girls work hard. You know what I'm saying? The girls
Oh,
that
for
I
sure.
know, and I mean, they work hard. Like, I don't have that much problems out of them. If we do have problems, we can talk about it. We can, they understand that, hey, there are times when I'm talking to them. There's times where, hey, this directive is coming not from me, but from management. So you kind of gotta like, we
Yeah.
gotta play nice with the manager sometimes. There's a whole lot of things that goes into it. And sometimes,
I bet there are a bunch of weird dynamics like that. Like I don't know.
oh
I
yeah.
didn't actually think about that, but
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
there's a
like
lot of stuff like,
would management like make you actually be the person to
yeah.
like give the information to the dancer?
Sometimes, yeah.
That's weird. I wouldn't have thought that the DJ would be the one
Sometimes I
to.
do. Like there
I would have thought that the manager would want to be really hands on with like information stuff.
hands
But
on,
damn,
hands on.
yeah.
Oh, sometimes
In that
there some
industry, I just assumed it was hands on. Yeah.
sometimes there are some managers that try to be hands on. Yeah, I've heard of I've heard stories from some dancers that like managers that like that won't hire girls because they can't do extra with them, and I've heard that before. I've seen.
I
It's
bet.
rare
And
that I've seen it,
you know,
but I've
I'm
heard
sure
of that
that's the
happening.
like seedy stories, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of people would say it's immoral. And you know, I don't think either of us would disagree. Like that sounds pretty immoral. Like that
No.
would really suck if that's the only way to enter into that.
Yeah, but it's
That would
not
seem
though.
horrible. But it's not
It's
all
not
like
always
that.
that. It's also about now what a lot of people don't understand too. This is the other one that I've argued with people but before the other point, because a lot of people don't understand that this is a physical. The job is physical based, especially when women,
Oh, for sure.
right? For women, it's physical, right? And a lot of people are clamoring about. Once again, we talked about diversity, stuff like that. Like, I'm sorry, but a lot of the bigger girls have a tougher time.
I bet.
A lot of bigger girls, unless you know how to work a pole, unless you know how to have that stage presence and you're good with management, you've dealt with the managers and you have a good personality, you do have to work a little bit harder. And sometimes it also is
For
harder,
sure.
on the race. Like I do agree in some places, especially like where I'm at, it's a little bit harder for black girls to work. In
Mm,
some cases, I do agree. But then also I've come back and noticed that sometimes black girls make it harder for themselves because they have
mm.
the attitude, the stereotypical, you can't tell me nothing, like who the fuck are you type, neck snapping, head bobbing, and they think that they're owed something because they got a little bit of clout, from that one rapper that one time, yeah, like it's happened. Trust me, I'm telling you
Yeah,
from
I mean, you know, you got all eyes on you. It does seem like you could get a big head, but
Oh, big
yeah,
head is man.
you know.
Some of these girls have had. I'm like, bro, okay, look, if you got so much big head, where are you at now? Like, why are you here? Like in a smaller, like, and I get it. Some of the rules in certain cities are different. Like I'm in San Antonio, right? So San Antonio, big state. Texas is a big state. So San Antonio's club laws are a lot more conservative, and it's so stupid. But like, if I were to go to Austin, you can do full nude.
Yeah, that's
I've
what
been
I've
to
heard.
Houston, and bruh, the clubs in Houston totally different. I went before the pandemic. I went to V Live before the pandemic hit, and man, it's something, boy. I tell you, that club was oh boy. Like I've seen, they had like a big ass stage, like it was really big, and then they had like a long ass pole too, like really big, and then also not only did they had the pole, but they had like the big ass ring too, for like that Cirque du Soleil type ring,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, type shit. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that is
and
crazy.
it, and
I
the light,
don't
like the
understand
floor,
how.
like the stage would light up on the floor lights and under the shit. Oh man, that shit was crazy. And it was Houston, so they had a lot of black girls in there. They was showing out. So like what's that one song by I want to say Juicy J with Jeezy. Every time
Oh,
I
yeah,
go
yeah.
out, I got like it was lit. Like music like that was playing. Shit was fucking wild. Like I've seen clubs from Miami, like they do kind of similar. Like I'm telling you, money coming out, like people throwing money. Like I've seen shit like that, bro. Like just money
See, I
flying.
only have seen those clubs in like Legend and stuff like. I'm in a very conservative state, and it's either alcohol or nudity. But
Yeah.
that's
I've
different,
seen I've
man. And
seen
then
the I've seen the shit from the videos, dog.
yeah, and then I was living up in Vancouver for a while, and it is just crazy up there.
Oh
Like
yeah.
it seemed like anything could just go.
Oh yeah.
So
That's the
yeah, it
beautiful
is
thing
a
about it.
crazy industry that definitely changes by regionality.
It does.
Like
It does. And
for
it's
sure.
something that you have to understand and you have to respect. And overall, I wish I had my, like I said, well, if I get my money up to where I wanted to, like I have no problems going to a club, just showing love and having a good ass time. And if I
For
can, if I'm
sure.
allowed to record, hey, record myself there. And hey, I can DJ a set for about 30 minutes, have a good ass time, and do my shit and leave. And it's
That's awesome, man.
I don't, like I said, that's just something that that could, it's an untapped niche, an untapped market, I think. But it's got to
Yeah,
be, people got to be open to it, and people have to understand it. It's fun. Like honestly, it has its moments. It has its dangerous moments, of course.
I bet.
Because like I said, you have a lot of people in there.
Well, yeah, you
That
got people drinking and people,
you got
all sorts of
thugs.
emotions are heightened. You
Yeah,
know,
you got people in there that are from streets. You got people that are in there from gangs, and that just, they come in there to have a good time. They come in there to chill, low key, and they
for
come in
sure.
there like stacks of money. They come in there just to chill and throw it. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
having everybody. if you do, like I said, you do your shit right, you know, it happens. Like I said, things can happen, but if you got a good thing in place to where people can manage that and control that, you're good. Or have an atmosphere that, hey, look, yeah, whatever you do outside the club, that's cool. Keep it outside the club. Here, we're here to have a good time. You feel me? And I think that's bottom line what it is, and that's where a lot of people get it. Like I said, if you feel like if if you feel like that's not for you, you don't have to go. That's the beautiful part about it. If you feel like it's not for you, you don't have to go. And well, the reasons why I went too is actually I had a friend of mine. He's like a brother to me, and he originally was working there. Remember when I said earlier in the conversation that I had broke up, my ex fiance had broke up with me.
Yes, sir.
So after that time, my homeboy was like, "Yeah, you should come look in the strip clubs. Come to the strip clubs with me." He used to be a cooking one, and yes, they got good food.
Hmm.
They got
I was gonna say,
they got food there.
I've never
That's what I said.
focused on the food, but
They got food there, and I'm telling you, bro, I'm gonna get there. So I'm like, because like I said, this is me coming off of church, right? I used to be in church big, so I'm like, I had a desire to go, kind of, to like go out and go clubbing and stuff like that. But like, like I said, I grew up in this part where they were like, clubbing is bad, blah blah blah, that thing, whatever the fuck, so much bullshit. But so I went, I broke down, I finally went, and this club I went to is called Perfect Tens. Nice little club. It's my first club I ever went to, and they had a special going on for steak and fries, $3.99. Okay. Last time I had a steak prior to this, I went to a steakhouse, like a restaurant that had steak, and I like my food cook. I can't speak for nobody else. I like my food well done. Okay. Steak was well done, and it was kind of tough. It was a thick steak. It was tough as fuck. It was kind of tough, and I was like, steak is not my thing. Right. So they had a deal for steak and fries, and my mind went back to that. I was like, oh well, I'll try it. It's $3.99. Can't beat the price.
How good could it be for $3.99?
Right.
Yeah,
Can't beat the price. So we went, and we went in there, and it was a nice little plate. The steak was like a little thin, kind of a thinnish type cut. I don't know what kind of cut it was, but it was a nice, presented really nice. Had ketchup and steak sauce with the fries, and it was like the big I forgot what they call that cut of fries. The big cut, the big wedge cuts.
Yeah,
the big ass thick cuts. You know what I'm talking about. Anybody in the comment section, they'll tell me what kind of fries they are. Anyway, so it was nicely done, and they gave us like a knife and a fork. Cut into it. It was like butter. I was like, what the fuck? I said, yo, that was an easy cut. Okay. I bit into that bad boy. Heaven.
Damn.
Oh,
it
was
awesome.
good.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, can we get another one of these? Like, yo, can we? And then so after then, I would go every so often, and that's when I actually ended up learning a lesson to make sure I have money when I go, because I would go with my homeboy and he would take me and he would like pay for my dances. Like what he would do is like, oh, you like that girl? Like I would see like some of the girls on stage, and I'm like, oh, yo, she kind of, he kind of got my attention. He would kind of notice it. He's like, go tip her. I was like, but I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to. He's like, go tip her, dog. Just go tip her, dog. So like I took the money, go tip her, stuff like that, and I would get dances. And one time I was going off of him, and he would like gave me money to go give dances, like if I wanted to dance from a couple of dances from a girl, right? There was this pretty girl. She was really pretty, like kind of short, curly hair, really nice looking, light skinned black girl, really nice, right? And she was cool. I got dances from her, but she ended up charging me extra for a song. So songs are like 20 a song when you get private dances, at least here, right? The going rate is like 20 per song. And so she charged me an extra song. And I'm like, no, it's only 2. She's like, no, it's 3. So I went to my homeboy. He was getting a dance at the time. I kind of put him and said, hey, bro, I just need an extra 20 right quick. She's charging me for a dance. And I felt bad. I was just like bad. Like, and he was kind of mad at me at the time. And I was like, bro, but he was mad at me, but I was more mad at myself. I was pissed off. I was pissed. Sure. I was like, what the fuck, bro? Like, yo, this is some bullshit. So after then I learned, like, if I go, I got to make sure I have my own money, make sure I have everything ready to go. Right. So I started going by myself eventually. I started going to another club, And I ended up deciding to was like, you know what, I want to try working here. Like the job I was at prior, I was a janitor at a in a school district, and yeah, that shit stunk. No pun intended.
I bet.
No pun
Yeah, literally
intended.
figuratively.
Right. And so like I decided, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make this decision. I switched over. I started working back in the clubs in 2017, and ever since then I've been like enjoying it. Like it's had its moments. Like I started working day shift, which was like kind of dead at the time, but like the money, like when the money was good, like it was solid. Like I would get hourly rate plus tips, and like I would get tipped out. It
That's
was
awesome, man.
dope. It was fun as fuck. Like I had to break down like how it works. I'll maybe one video I'll break down in a way kind of how it works, because I know a lot of clubs are different, but it's
That would be cool. I think that would definitely be interesting for a lot of
right,
people. I'd be interested to know
right.
kind of how that works
It's
now.
fun. Like so basically, essentially, the way it works is I get paid two ways. I get paid on the front end and the back end. Back end, of course, is a check, the hourly rate check.
Hmm.
Front end is the tips I get per every day I work. So
And I'm sure, like, different dancers want different songs or
yeah, so
whatever,
and
and
they tip
kind
out.
of help you out
Yeah,
or
and
request
right.
things.
If they make money, they'll tip me out. And like I said, that's why I work the relationship with the dancers. And I'm like, hey, look, I do my best to give y'all what y'all want, but hey, y'all got to
Hmm.
realize, look, as long as I try to make it clear to them, y'all got to realize sometimes the songs that they want, the clubs might not work, might not want it,
Yeah,
or it may not fit
exactly.
the vibe of that moment. So some girls I've talked, like currently the club I work at now, there's some girls that want like slow R&B songs, right? I don't always play those because
Yeah, it does seem like it would definitely be a
it
mood
would
or whatever.
bring down the vibe of the club. And I'm trying to, like, especially if the
For
club is
sure.
slow, like not a lot of people in there, I'm trying to my job is I'm trying to keep the vibe up. So when people come
Hmm.
in or they're having a good ass time, they're, if even if it is like two, three, four people, okay, we having a good ass time. There's a few girls here, we having a good ass time. The music's up, BPM's up. If I'm always playing slow music, it's dragging down the club.
Yeah, everything's a little bit
Yeah, it
slower.
feels like it's
The
slow.
vibe's
It's
way down.
like a club is dragging, you know, even
Hmm.
though the girl, like, and sometimes they may not be focused on the girl, like, what I'm saying? So like, and even if they like, if they are, they're like, like, so that's why I try to keep the club up as much as possible. That's how I normally work. Now, near the end of the shift, and I learned this from another club I worked at, because there was a mentor, there was a mentor, that guy, that older DJ that mentored me when I was in another club. What we would do is
That's
like the
awesome.
last 30 to 45 minutes, the last 30 to 15, 30 minutes, excuse me. So the club closes at 2. So at 1:30, 1:45, what we'll do is we'll blitz like slow jams. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm talking
Yeah,
about like
kind of
H Town,
winding down.
H Town knocking the boots. I'm talking, Silk meeting in my bedroom. I'm talking like Come and Talk to Me by Jodeci. I'm talking like Maya's My Love Is Like Whoa, that type of shit.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So you can already tell by those songs I've already like
Yeah,
I'm
bringing the
setting a certain
tempo down a
mood.
little bit.
I'm bringing it down, but I'm also like, these guys. I'm encouraging these guys to get dances, and the people
For
that are
sure.
already getting dances, they already, the girls are like, getting into it, making it nice, sweet, and sexy for them, and then by 2 o'clock we cut it off. You know what I'm saying? Because now like I'm cutting, like I'm getting multiple songs, like I'm talking like not no more than 2 minutes per song. You know what I'm saying? Especially when we were like really busy, I'll be like, I'll cut a song 2 minutes, go into the next one, cut a song, I put an effect on it, go to the next one. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. So it's like a lot of people, like a lot of things that go into it, that especially from a music
For
standpoint, that a lot
sure.
of people don't understand and
Yeah,
get. And it's
and I'd
like,
be kind of interested in that too, because how do you necessarily cut something that I don't know. I've been in the music industry, like I kind of came from the band thing, but yeah, I couldn't imagine like cutting a song down to like 2 minutes just to like, and then you got to like match beat like everything
right.
on that
Well,
just
not
to
necessarily
get
beat,
like the
but
whole mix going and
not
everything.
necessarily beat,
Well,
but
fair enough. You can kind of
the vibe
change it
still. So like I said, I
for
could play My
sure.
Love Is Like Whoa, and then I can go to like R. Kelly's Feeling on Your Booty. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Same vibe, different BPM and all of
yeah,
that. Same, but same vibe though. You feel me? So
fair
then there's
enough.
like, oh, everybody's like, yeah, everybody's into it. You dancing with a girl, like the girl dancing on you, she getting into it. Now you really want to, trying to get that money spent. Just little things that I've kind of worked on. Stuff like that. It's fun. It's definitely a something that's worth working on. That a lot of
I bet
people
so, man.
need to. I feel like a lot of people don't get.
Yeah, you kind of would be kind of the background in that situation. I mean, like, what you're doing is definitely right in the front, but
Yeah,
the eyes aren't necessarily on you in that situation.
true.
But you're definitely controlling the vibe of
Exactly. Yeah, I am the puppet master, dance puppets. But like
it, which is kind of cool.
stuff like that is like that's one of my things in my content, and even like just my mixes. What I started doing also too was last year was what you saw was my mixes. I started putting that together. I've noticed a lot of people were doing that on YouTube. Like a lot of people were doing mixes, but like I was doing like strip club mixes that were geared towards like kind of like what you would hear somewhat in
Yeah.
a strip club. Um, I do have one mix that's like more EDM focused. That's more like go-go dancer focused, but it's still somewhat the same thing. That's like more for EDM for the clubs that don't want to play too much hip hop. God, that is the dumbest rule I've ever heard in my fucking life. I'm like, bro, y'all
Yeah.
are weird. It's so stupid. Like
I
people,
mean, I guess you try to match your clientele, but I don't know.
like
I don't know.
I get it. Like, don't get me wrong, I get the matching the clientele. But even then, I've had white guys come to me. Like, other club I was working at had. This is before I got let go from another club, and the club I'm at now. We were open Super Bowl Sunday, and we opened early too. I never forget that day because I was fucking tired. It was like, God, I had to come in at 5 o'clock p.m. It's fucking dumb. Uh, but no, because the Super Bowl started and stuff like that. But then people at this party came in for like a they were like a VIP. They came in for like a party. I think it was like a bachelor party. I think it was. And
Well, Super Bowl bachelor party.
yeah,
It's a big one.
yeah, they were like, it was a few guys, quite a few guys. They were like no more like than 20 something. They couldn't have been no more than like late 20s, maybe 30, early 30s, right? And they came up to me and they were like, I told them I introduced myself because it wasn't a lot of people there. So I just went up and introduced myself. I said, hey y'all, I'm the DJ for the night. Welcome in. Thank y'all for coming celebrating your party with us. Let me know what I can do for you. They was like, oh, you're the DJ? I'm like, yeah. What can I do for you? Hey man, can you play some the baby for us? Nigga, what? I'm like, bro, you look like you belong at a frat party. Like, what are you talking about? The baby, what? So I'm like, all right, bet. And this is like I said, the same club. They were like tripping about rap music or whatever. But I'm like, y'all don't understand. Like, it, you can't always judge a book by the cover when it comes out of stuff like that.
No.
You also have to
Yeah.
look at, like, generally speaking, like where I'm at, they love rap music down here. Like, we love it. Like, granted,
For
we're a
sure.
little bit behind the curve when it comes down to a lot of the newer rap stuff, but we have our favorites. Like,
For sure.
yeah,
I was thinking more like, like if you had an older clientele or something, like, maybe they're not into like the newer rap or whatever,
right. But then they still want to
you'd
see
kind of
rap.
know that on what kind of club you have, like,
Right. Right. But then even in with the older clubs, like the older clientele that come in, they still want to hear some rap. They still want to hear that. You
for
know what I'm
sure.
saying? Like, because when you think of strip clubs now, you think of the music videos, like how they put it in music videos.
Yeah.
You think of the
I
black
was gonna say
girl.
that's the music that I think of when I think
Right.
of a strip club
You
now. I'm
think
definitely not thinking like they're playing like White Snake or
right.
something from the
Pour
'80s. Like
pour
it's
some sugar on me. Ain't nobody dancing to that no more. Ain't nobody dancing to
yeah,
he's by cherry pie. Ain't nobody doing that shit. Like, ain't nobody
yeah,
ain't too
exactly.
many,
I mean, like
even the
it was a
white
trope
girls, like,
and it had its time.
like, don't get me wrong, it works. Like, it works when it works, but like but there's some girls that just don't like, there's you got to be able to balance that. And I do try to encourage some of the dancers to, like, hey, look, expand your palette, expand that,
For
because
sure.
that's also what's going to help you too, because you're dealing with older people that been in the business long enough. They know what's up. They have an idea. They have a good idea what works for their club. And yes, I kind of
For
get what
sure.
the club people are talking about. They don't want to have their club turned into a fucking trap house or whatever. I get it, fine. But at the same
yeah.
time, it's like, just because I play one rap song, it's not going to turn
Yeah,
your club
it's
into a trap house. Okay, But some
Yeah, it's
people
not
want to have
magic
that.
like
Once
that.
again, it goes back to fantasy. Some people want to have that fantasy. It feels good to sit up here and you out here. You hear some rap song coming through. And, with some 808s up bumping on the bass and shit like that. And you over here, you got a stack of money. You feel like the nigga in a rap video. You want to feel that sometimes. You want to feel like
For
that
sure.
guy, even if you are the most straight laced. You know what I'm saying? You want to feel like that guy.
Oh yeah.
So guess what? That's the place where you can do that. You can feel like that guy. Okay, you can't go up to your secretary, like go up to a agent, like a regular job, like a call center that they do an exceptional service. You go up to a little secretary, hey girl, you did a really good job today, and throw some money at her. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't do that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not socially acceptable anymore.
Right. But here
you know.
is like, in the clubs, you can definitely do that. Like, hey, you see a girl dancing, you want to feel special. You want some attention, go ahead, get you some VIP, save you some money up, get VIP, bottle service, you know what I'm saying? Have some money on the side of tip. Bro, it's so many things, man. It's so much. It's fun. Like, see, I'd rather, like I said,
I bet.
I'd rather tell people that like stuff like this is definitely possible when it comes down to conversation is possible. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to reach out to you. Like I said, it wasn't necessarily about sub count. It wasn't about all of this
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Like don't get me wrong. Like, you just started out your channel. I've been doing mine for years. Hell, as far as I'm concerned, my channel and your channel are pretty much the same as far as I'm concerned, as far as like numbers wise, because I haven't really been I haven't been able to like I said, I'm just getting back in the groove of things. I've been trying to figure out what I want to do with my content. Been dealing with a couple of personal things, and like I said, with content creation, it's a journey, and
For
it's
sure.
definitely something.
Yeah, it's not like anyone's got all the answers or is that you're going to go the path that you necessarily like planned out.
Right.
So
And some of these people,
yeah, I mean, like, a lot of this stuff is kind of, I wouldn't call it random. Like, you reached out to me, but I don't know. When I created the channel, I didn't think, hey, I'm gonna have LG reach out to me sometime. Like,
yeah.
that's awesome, man. I'm
No,
glad it worked out
that's
this way.
cool. Like, it's one of the things where like I said, when it comes down to social topics, to me, it's supposed to be stuff that you're supposed to have conversation about.
Yeah,
Like, if you
I think that would be the
don't,
best way to do it.
you may not agree fully, or you may not understand something, you may not like something, you may not like what's being said, or you may not feel a certain way, but then you realize, okay, well, this is coming from their point of view. At the end of the day, you have that's what it's supposed to be for. Like, I think these topics are supposed to be talked about, and it's left up to the people to decide how they want to live their life. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's supposed to me. What I think it's supposed to be. Like, this whole,
Yeah,
well, this is acceptable, that's not acceptable type shit. Like, you know what? Save that for your own. Leave your personal morality. Let it be your thing. Let that be your personal compass. That you got your personal compass. That's cool. But when it comes down to forcing it on other people, or trying to make other people do the things that you want them to do, like, it just doesn't, like that. I think that's what's lost now. Is like that these conversations are, it's become more of, more or less not conversations, and more of, echo chambers. Like, like we
yeah, kind of a way to write somebody off. You're just looking, like you mentioned that like gotcha
yeah,
thing. You're just looking for a reason that you can just totally dismiss this
exactly,
whole entire person or section.
exactly. And then
I couldn't agree with you more there.
I don't get me
And
wrong.
that's why I really like
I
this.
don't get me wrong. I get the fact that there's, some people that are just shitty. I get the fact that there's some people
Yeah, yeah,
that just argue in bad faith or whatever. And sometimes those people do seem to be the loudest ones in the room, right? Sometimes. But like, when you
for
look
sure.
at that, like, if you take a step back or three, and you start looking at some of these people, like you realize that they have to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
can literally pull away from, like, when it comes down to these social topics, I don't have to ever talk about any of that shit if I don't want to.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Most of these
But
people,
it's awesome that you are, because if not, we would just have this same kind of echo chamber. It doesn't feel like, it feels like there's one side that just wants to talk for everybody else. And,
yeah,
kind of like the whole Eric July thing. He's not the actual voice of, a black man or anything like that. Instead, they're going to tell you what the actual voice of a black man is, and that seems so wrong
Right.
to me. Instead of
It's
just actually like asking
and it's
somebody.
a like you know what, and I'm gonna go off of what is I think it was Malcolm X that said it, that was talking about the dangers of a white liberal.
Mm,
Yeah, you already know where I'm going with
yeah,
that. You already know how.
I know
Yeah,
the
you know
quote.
the quote about the, yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? And it's so true. Like honestly, like I've never, when I sit back and think about it, like you sit back and think and look at it, Malcolm X had a hell of a point when it comes down to the white liberals. Like
You had a
they're
bunch of them.
telling, like the people that are telling you black, who's the black voice, it's some fucking liberal, like some white liberal that's telling you who the black voice is. I'm like, bitch, first of all,
Hmm.
you're fucking white. How the fuck are you going to tell me? Like, I hate that. Like, I don't like doing the race thing, but it's like, bro, you fucking white, dog. You don't know what the fuck you talking about. Go sit down.
Yeah.
Go sit your little saltine head ass down. Okay. Go bathe in some fucking Epsom salt and then come back and talk to me. Like, I don't get, like, you know what I'm saying? Go out, go get a tan, and then maybe you can come talk to me about some melanin, bitch. Like, first of all, like, I don't even want, like, no, shut up. How you gonna tell me what I should be thinking as a black man? I don't think I'm victimized every day. I don't
Yeah.
wake up.
It just, I don't know. It just seems so. I don't know what else to say other than like bigoted to just say like you can't have this opinion other than this. I'm going to tell you what your opinion can be. Otherwise, you don't count. You are now the bad kind,
Right,
or however he wants to
right.
say
Or
it.
you wanna
Like they
the
keep
uncle
calling Eric July the Uncle
or the
Tom,
coon.
where it's like,
I've gotten a
what?
coon. I've
Yeah,
gotten. I'm like, y'all stupid. Like y'all do realize. Like honestly, if it came down to it, these would be the same ones that would, like the ones that call people coons and stuff. Those would be the same ones that will sell their own people out. If it was really back in that time frame, I honestly think that the people that will call people coons now would be the ones that sell their own people out. I mean,
yeah.
I
I
I
mean, it
wouldn't be
takes a
I wouldn't be
certain kind.
surprised.
It just seems to have the implication that there is a right opinion and you don't have it, so you don't count. I don't know. It just, I guess I just can't understand
I
that.
I don't.
To me, it seems just
It's
you know
counterintuitive.
beyond morally repugnant. Yeah,
It's counterintuitive,
yeah.
and that's the type of shit that, like, honestly, that's why I just go to roasting people, because it's like at the end of the day, it's like, you know what, fuck you, dog. Like, first of all, you can't be sitting there talking shit about me being being a coon when you don't even have a voice. You over here up on somebody else's nutsack, up on another black man's nutsack that's telling you, or a black woman's cooch that's telling you what you think you should be. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, we need more black representation. Yeah, okay, sure, let's get that. Well, not you, LG, not you. We don't want you. And I literally almost had this happen. Like, go back and look. I was dealing with the shit with the creator called Zombie Kills, dealing with that shit. Oh, it's still up. My videos, I don't take my videos down. Like I did a video called LG versus the black streamer Twitter, and I literally had people, the in that thumbnail were a group of people that had to some way, shape, or form have disrespected me. People that I've
Hmm.
talked with. I was actually, matter of fact, one of the girls that I was in the esports group that I was in at the time. Shout out to Hydra Gaming. I was a part of them for a while. Shout out to them. Uh, she got kicked out the group a while back because she thought she was being discriminated against, but they didn't want, she was doing e-girl shit.
No.
You already know where I was going.
Yeah, I could see. Yeah,
And
kind of
they
wanting
didn't want to
to
be, they didn't
distance a
want to
little.
deal with that, right? They didn't want to,
Mm.
which is a tough thing. Like I said, I feel for her because, like I said, hey, she's like, I thought she was a gorgeous girl. She was cool,
Yeah.
I looked like she was. I thought she was my type for a minute. I ain't gonna lie, I was attempted to shoot my shot, but she already had a boyfriend at the time. So I'm like, all right, cool. I respect that. She was a cute girl. Had we disagreed on a few things, but then, like I said, she aligned with some of that shit, and with some of that. Oh well, I get called the N word, or because I'm a woman in gaming, we don't get the same. Like, bitch, first of all, we're competitive over here. We over here, you're playing Overwatch. First of all, you're playing Overwatch, a competitive game. People are gonna talk shit. You're playing Call of Duty. You're playing these competitive games, and you're thinking people are gonna, oh, it's a woman, we're gonna dial back. No, bitch, get your ass. Why are you playing Call of Duty? Get your ass to the kitchen. Oh, you're black. You're an N-word. You're an N-word. The hard ER. Her. People are gonna do that shit. Okay, it is what it is. It's
And it
whatever. Okay, I'm not
and it
saying it's
sucks.
right.
I mean,
I'm
yeah, it
not
would be
gonna say it's.
rough no matter what.
But at the same time, You got options. Here's the crazy part,
Mm-hmm.
and these people on that side don't understand is you got options.
Mm-hmm.
You can literally mute them, and if it makes you feel that bad, you can block them
Mm-hmm.
and
And if it
report them.
is egregious, I was going to say you could definitely report them if it's against any sort of terms, which,
Right.
it definitely sucks. Like, nobody should be harassed, but, unfortunately, one of the results or the consequences from putting stuff online is you're going to have people essentially mock it and have different points of view.
E-
Hopefully, they
Exactly.
don't take it
So,
to an extreme, but
but here's
I
the,
don't know.
but like go
And it
to
would be
Call of
tough
Duty.
as a gamer girl for sure. Like, I've seen it in a bunch of the lobbies and stuff. It's like it does seem like it could be bad, but I've also seen just high pitched guys like get like just trashed,
Exactly,
like
man. Oh
absolutely.
man, squeakers. How many
I
times
don't
we
know that
got
it's
on?
unique, but it's gonna be different. Yeah,
How many times have we
exactly.
gone after squeakers? Like, bro, shut your ass up and like, bro, you over here. Let your balls drop before you talk to me in this game. God damn it, don't you?
For sure.
You know,
Which that would be tough as
but
well.
it's like
You know.
I don't necessarily. I do agree that in some cases, like when it comes down to it, but you do have to understand that when you're in a competitive environment, most of these people that do all this crying, and I've
Hmm.
made this before. I've made this statement before. Most of the people that do all of this crying are at the bottom of the leaderboards or nowhere to be found. Especially when they talk about, oh, we want to be in esports. We want to be in these things. We need more
Hmm.
representation in esports. Now, I don't know if you remembered about the story about the all female team in League of Legends.
I do.
Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah.
was that way. Like
The legendary team.
the legendary team. Sure, we'll go with that. More like infamous, but we'll go with that. But the you have to be able to put in the work, and I think this is where a lot of people that were, like I said, this is like the result of participation trophies. Like, don't get me wrong, which I thought at one point like, participation trophies are good. It to a degree, it showed that hey, I was here, I showed up.
Maybe a ribbon or something.
Right.
Like, you get the ribbon that says you entered, but the
Yeah, the
trophies,
trophies,
yeah.
you didn't win, but you showed up. Thank you for showing up. Here's a consolation prize for showing up. But now it's gotten to the point where people now have become big headed now, and
For
they feel
sure.
like they deserve something that they
Very entitled.
don't put the work in or may not have
Hmm.
gotten that, like, you know what I'm saying, like it's, and I get it, sometimes it's tough to, oh, I feel like I'm doing all this work. Okay, well, are you really doing all this work though? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Are you, well, these our white counterparts are doing, they're not doing anything, this, that, and the third. They're not really doing anything to stand out. They're doing all of this stuff and they're XYZ, blah blah blah, whoop de woo. Have you really paid attention to what they're doing? Are you literally
Yeah.
looking at the landscape? You know what I'm saying? Are you putting out something that's entertaining? What are you putting out that makes that makes you in this space? Because everybody can hit record, anybody can go live. You know what I'm saying?
For
You
sure.
know, there are certain there's certain biases, there's certain judgments, there's certain things that people make. Yes, there's girls out there that are, pretty, whatever, pretty privilege exists, we know this, okay, that's fine. Girls get get an easier time getting noticed than guys. We get that. That's understandable.
Yeah.
Okay. And anybody that says otherwise, you're a goddamn lie. Especially in content creation. Okay. And but I do understand that one thing I noticed, it's easier for girls to get noticed, but it's also harder, and it's easier for them to shoot up and grow, but it's harder for them to long term grow.
For
That
sure.
that's the
And then,
backtrack.
I'm sure with everything, there's kind of like, double edged swords, or at least the other side of
Uh-huh.
the coin as well.
Exactly.
Because,
And a lot of people don't get
I'm
that.
sure they do get more weird messages than, say, like, a normal guy would get when they're, blowing up like that. I don't know. But, that's kind of what you're signing up for if you're, like, trying to put yourself out there.
Exactly. And
And
people don't get that.
that.
People don't understand.
Everything's a trade off.
And people don't understand that, like, look, if you don't put in this work, you'll never get it. And you can't complain and talk about, race and this, that, and the third. There have been plenty of times where I can sit up here and say, well, because I'm a black man, this, that, and the third. And I've actually used that argument to be facetious. I'm like, so, and especially towards the detractors, I'm like, I thought Black Lives Matter. Why are you over here trying to argue with a black man? You supposed to be listening to. I thought we were listening to black voices here, and that's the argument we're going with people. Like, okay, black voices. Okay, we're supposed to be listening. Listen to black voices. I'm a black man.
Yeah.
I got a
And I
light
think that
on
kind
right
of
now.
just
I
demonstrates
got a light on.
who's actually trying to listen, though, because it's very easy to listen when it's only the things that you want to hear getting spouted back to
Yeah,
you. But
that's true.
sometimes the harder things are what you really should be
Right,
listening to.
right. If I turn this light off and I wait, if I wow, I got white on me. But if I turned, if I didn't have no light on, you know what I'm saying? You know, I look like a locked character in the video game, and you have to pay EA $25 to unlock me.
Well, I got the opposite problem. I look like a ghost most of the time. Like if I don't get the lighting just right, I'm translucent.
Right.
But it's a trade off.
Exactly. And I feel like a lot of people don't get that. And we need more of that, honestly. Like I think once we get that, once we start getting more into that, and that's where my focus is going to be at anyway, especially when it comes down to these topics. Like, okay, yeah, you might agree with this. And here's the other thing that I just thought about. You don't want, like, while you don't want an echo chamber, you don't want somebody that's always constantly trying to play devil's advocate too. That's also the trade-off that we're
Yeah.
talking about. Like, I don't, you don't want to have somebody that's always in your comments. Well, I understand where this person is coming
Hmm.
from. Well, this person is doing this. And I'm like, all right, bro. Like, I mean, I get it, but come on, bro. Like, okay, all right, you got to let me have this one sometime. Like, I get it. Like, but sometimes, like, and I had to, like I said, I had to deal with that personally with somebody that I know, that he kind of does that, and I had to like, I kind of like got to pick and choose when to engage with certain people. Like, that's one thing I learned how to do is pick and choose. Some people say it's fake or whatever. I'm like, man, fuck y'all. Okay, I got things I'm trying to do. Okay, I don't want to be going back and forth with y'all, especially if y'all not, you see what I'm doing, but then you want to go back and forth with me on something completely different. Like, I'm like, bro, fuck all that. Like, bro, my main goal is to try to get this music and my gaming and all of my other shit out there. You over here worried about some shit that I said with Black Lives Matter. Like, I don't, bro. Like, like, what the fuck, bro? Chill. Like, I'm trying to get this stuff done. Hey, bro, help me share this other video with music. Crickets. Nothing. Oh, see, this is why Black Lives. Well, actually, oh fuck y'all. I'm like, bro, I don't want to do so. That was the other thing too. Like, I don't want to like get so caught up in social topics to where like it's just this rabbit hole of shit.
For sure.
That's the thing I try to be careful of. Like, I don't want to keep going down that rabbit hole of, talking about social topics and people that are talking about, oh, left leaning this and right thing leaning that, and left wing and left leg, right leg, turkey leg. I'm like, fuck, dog. I don't care, bro. Sometimes I just want to live my life, bro. And I just want to see I
For
just want to
sure.
see ass and titties in my face, dog. Like, people that are mad about attractive women
For
in, in
sure.
in gaming and stuff like that. Like, look, don't get
I
me.
think that's one of the things that the internet really does. Like it blows up everything that kind of political issues. You need to choose a side where
I'm like,
most things
bro.
they don't have to be.
I'm like, bro, look,
I don't know. I think it definitely puts a focus on
I
them,
just
but
don't care. Like,
is
I
unnecessary.
just don't care. Like, I wanna enjoy myself, and I'm good. Like, like, you're not gonna make me feel bad for that. Like, if I like black women. Like, the reason why I talk shit like with the black communities, like, if I do bring up social topics within the black communities, because look, I'm a black person. I do understand where a lot of this is coming from, and I do want to
Sure.
see us succeed, and I do want to see us grow. But at the same fucking time, like, bro, come the fuck on. Like, we can't keep contributing to our own destruction and then talk about, well, why are we growing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't keep, cutting yourself on the wrist, talk about why am I hurt? Why am I in pain?
It
Why am I
doesn't make
losing so
sense.
much blood? Why am I losing so much blood here? I don't understand. I can't. Give me the scissors. Hold on. Give me the scissors. Let me.
Yeah, have we tried that yet?
Yeah. No, I just don't, man. Like,
Yeah.
I just, like, honestly, it's just so much stuff, bro. Like, so much stuff that needs to be done, and it's refreshing to be able to sit back, have a conversation, you know, with actual human beings, like, not this, and one of the comments that I don't know if you saw on your latest video, the one that I commented on, Um, one of the guys told you. I got a matter of fact. I'm about to go look at it right now. I'm about to go look at it right now. All right, Great Prepared. Where's your channel? Here he goes.
I
Videos.
think it was the
The
don't
organized chaos.
focus so much on these guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Voodoo Child. Yeah. Voodoo Child. 333. He said, "Look, man, if you want the channel to grow, please ignore these retards. They cannot debate and thrive off channels like yours talking about them. I listen to these bad faith channels such as Fandom and Chaos, and I get a headache after 5 minutes. They're just jealous of people who are more successful than them and call them grifters."
I think so. I don't think he's
Yeah.
necessarily wrong. So I went in there to ask them a question, and then Bob challenged me essentially like either debate or you're blocked. I was like, all right, let's talk.
Yeah.
And then it didn't actually become a conversation. But yeah, I wasn't like seeking to create a channel based off of them.
Yeah.
It just kind of snowballed, and then they did a reaction, and then I got to do a reaction.
Right.
So
Right. We got to go back and
I'm
forth.
almost done with content on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's definitely not going to be the focus of the channel. I do get the the spirit in which he intends
Right.
it.
It's
I wouldn't
concern.
base a
That
channel
was
on these
it
guys.
was
They're not worth it.
they're not. And I mean, and I like I said, I'm waiting for them to watch and see me too. Like, yeah, I said it. Y'all ain't worth it. Not a damn one of y'all. Dane, Organized Chaos, definitely not Ed for pop culture, pop counterculture. I seen his videos trying to make, oh, I used to make movies and make cinema. That shit's trash. uh, like I've seen better B-list movies on BET. Um, and some of those movies were fucking dog water. Um, I'm like, bro, like this shit's
Yeah, a
weird.
lot of those made for TV ones. Ugh.
Exactly. Like, so you already know where I'm going. Like,
Yeah.
I can't. Like, I can't. I'm not gonna deal with it. Like, y'all can't. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but God, dog, bro. Like, I'm at least trying to
Well,
make things work for me. Like, I'm trying to like
no.
make it work.
And I mean, you may not be perfect, but you're willing to have a conversation. And that's more than I would say for any of those guys.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this has been awesome, man.
I appreciate it.
I really appreciate the fact that, you do actually want to
Yeah.
talk. And, I feel like you would explore any one of these issues.
Yeah,
So that's really
I
awesome, man.
wouldn't
That's
mind it.
commendable.
I wouldn't mind it. Like I said, I ain't gonna lie. I will let you know when it's one of those times where like, all right, bro. My it's my patience is thin with this shit. I'm good. I'm good. So about them Spurs, like but like it's just like I just it really needs to, that's the point. Like I think right now, like it needs to come down to once we start having conversations like this for real, like it's going to get to a point where things will, I think, slowly start to get better, and people will really just start to enjoy. And I get it. People want that drama. That sometimes I get it. It feel that fuel for the fire. It gets them going. What was that like that song off that movie? It was a clip they used in that song. Ball so hard, motherfuckers want to find me. There's a part, the clip in the song where it's like, no one knows what it means, but it's provocative. It gets the people going, like that type of shit. Like I get it.
Yeah.
You like that provocative, stuff that gets you, it gets you going. But like at some point, it's only I want to say it's only a short term thing. It's kind of
For
like
sure.
akin to like fucking. I want to say it's akin to like drinking coffee, almost, or any caffeinated drink. Like it's a good little, pickup for
Yeah.
about a good
It's a quick
minute,
pick me up.
and but then once that wears off, it's you're
It
drained
could even be
again.
worse.
You know,
Yeah.
you're drained again, and it's like, damn, bro, like. Then you're looking for the next piece of drama. Then it goes from caffeine to crack. You're addicted. You know what I'm saying?
Hopefully that's not my trajectory because I really like coffee, man. But
No, we don't.
you never know.
Yeah, hey, don't look. Like they say, don't do crack. Crack kills. Don't do crack and don't go left. But but no, I appreciate you having the conversation, man. And like I said, I hope for those that watch this video, would have a good time and understand, on both ends, whether you're watching on my channel, Grateful Pets channel. Um, I think it's definitely something that we need to have. You know, we got
For
too many
sure,
people
man.
that's already, trying to look for something that's not there, mind you. But can't tell them that because they know more than they know more than you, especially when they put Black Lives Matter and all of that, and I'm still hanging on that. I don't care what they say. I'm still hanging on that. Like the fuck that they're going on a black man, no less. But they'll have it in their bios. Black Lives Matter. He, him, and pronouns in bio and all that shit. All the flags and shit. I don't. I
Yeah,
don't. I
but
don't.
I don't know. Is that I don't know. I just again, and it's probably beating a dead horse at this time, but I don't know. If you only accept certain points of view that agree with you, do you really care? Do you really think that they matter? If you're not willing to accept any alternate point of view,
Right. Or at least
do you
listen to
really
any
care?
other point of
I don't
view.
know.
Like I put it like this.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. You don't have to accept anything.
right. No one. Oh, you don't have to accept. Yeah, you're right. You don't have to accept anything. Right. Right. That's where the only thing that they're right at. Right. That you don't have to accept anything. And it's crazy. Like if you look at their actions tell a big story. Like their actions tell
Mm-hmm.
how the things that they're accusing other people of being. They are themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And
And that's the saddest part. I don't think they see it, but you're
oh,
right.
some of them
Like,
see it. Like some of them see it, but like a lot of you're right. Some of them don't. Like they feel like they're doing a good thing because they're getting this attention from ankle biting off of somebody who is being successful.
yeah,
They feel like, oh, I'm getting this attention and I'm getting all this publicity. Yes, I've never gotten this much publicity before, so I got to keep it going. I'm apparently doing something right. And then they don't realize that they don't take a step back and that they're realizing that they're getting memed to death. That they're getting
I mean, I guess the whole
they're
thing
getting
like no news is bad news, or
all
whatever,
public
no promotion
all
is bad.
promotion.
I
It is
Yeah,
in a way it is,
I
but
don't know
then you
about
gotta
that though.
in a way it is, but then in a lot of cases it's not. You have to kind of like be able to balance the shit, right? These clowns will The reason why these clowns will be obsolete within or they have to ankle bite off these people, off of Eric July and people like myself and all of that, is because if they didn't, they have nothing to fall back on. They don't have any skills of their own.
Fair enough.
You know what I'm saying? And that's not me, a diss at them. That's an actual fucking fact. A lot of these people are failed, have failed,
Yeah,
and they are stuck.
you can kind of see the bitterness. It keeps coming out,
Exactly. These
and
people are
I think it is
bitter.
from that.
Like they're mad that
I see this other man succeeding. I must drag him
right.
down.
And the two
It's
people
just
that were talking about fucking pirating Eric July's book, right? Or Eric July's comic rather.
mhm.
They both of them black men. And I even talked about it in my video. I'm like, these are the same type of people talking about, oh, us as black people, we got to stick together. And I'm like, no, bro, I'm not sticking together. Like, how are we gonna stick together? And then you want to sit up here and be mad at somebody being more successful than you? We supposed to be sticking together. You
Yeah.
over here talk about pirating somebody's book, and one of them, I'm telling you, the dude ain't got a mask on his face. That shit look like a fucking horse muzzle with spikes on the bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I seen that shit. I'm like, bro, this nigga look like a damn horse. Like, I thought he was about to start neighing and shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, what is this? My Little Pony, the Hood edition? Like, what the fuck? Like, like how, like, you can't sit up here and like you can tell the jealousy from these clubs. And honestly, as much as I rag on these people, it's honestly sad. Like if you take a step
For
back and it's
sure.
like, bro, like that's why I'm like I try not to be like, I don't want to be that guy. Like that's why I try to focus on myself sometimes, because I don't want to be that guy that sits back and be like, I could have did this, I could have had that. These people are being more successful than me. F you. This isn't the way to do it. And well, I don't care. I'm getting attention. Guys, don't worry about him. Folk put money on me. Like I can't. I don't want to be that guy. I don't. And these people that
Well,
have
that's admirable.
these people that are, like I said, I want to feel bad for them in a sense, but then I look at them and it's like some of these people are like they're too far gone. Like it's
I'd
sad.
like to think there's some hope for some, but yeah,
I
out of like
I
the
would love
initiative, I
to.
have I have hope for a couple of those guys, but Dane, I don't know. I think he might be too far
Like
gone. I think there's definitely people that are too far gone.
I think that these people are so far up, have their heads so far up their asses with delusion that all they see is shit. Like I can't.
Yeah, and I think that's what I mean by like the bitterness and stuff. Like, you can just tell they're deeply unhappy and they're trying to drag others down to their
And
level.
it's like bro, like this man is all you, and all you're doing, and it makes it, and this is why I'm here for it, because it makes it worse for them. The dude is like
Mm.
millionaire status now.
Yeah,
It,
which is awesome. That seems like it should be commendable.
I
Like,
honestly, if that is the most inspiring thing, I'm like, bro, where can I get some haters like that? I need them
yeah,
niggas. I need where them niggas at so I can be on my shit. Let me get $1 billion right quick. I just need it. I don't need 3.7 specifically, but let me get let me get a
yeah. I
million.
mean, I take a fraction of it.
I'll take
That'd
I'll
be
take
okay.
1.5, and I can, because I already know what I want to do with that shit. I can take it, flip it, put it back in my business. I can pay people that I've been wanting to pay for the longest. That I can say, hey, look, you're part of the dynasty now, bro. You're officially part of my of you're officially a part of the dynasty, bro. Get your ass in here. You're hired, nigga. Get your ass, make that content. I got you, dog. What you need? What you need, dog? Let me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got you. Oh, you do. Oh, one of my homegirls that do sex work. You working for me? Let's go. How much money you need, baby? Let's go. Let me write that check. You know what I'm saying? Let's push you to work. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's do that for real, for real. And
That's awesome,
that's
man. That just kind of shows me how I don't know. I guess selfish I am. It's just like, maybe I could get a
that
house. I
too.
don't
Oh
know.
no,
I'm not
trust me.
thinking of like
Oh,
ways to reinvest or anything. I'm just thinking of
how
like bettering myself.
exactly? No,
That just
that's
shows me like
facts. You need
I
that
could
too. You
much
need that too.
better help those around
No,
me.
I need people that trust me. Oh, look, I'm like, mom, look, what house we want? Let's get to what house we getting. We getting that house? Can we get? We gonna get it built from the ground up. Fuck that. Let's get this. Let's go.
That would be
That'd be
awesome.
dope. Like, I would love to, mom. What kind of car you want? What kind of car you want, mom? You say you want a new car. Which one you want? You want that one? Okay, cool. Test drive it. You like it? All right, bet here. Drop the cash. Put it in the bag. Let's go. Like, I would love to, bro. Like, every time I be having a walk home with a nice little stack of money, I'll be like, ooh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Oh man,
Life, but
I gotta be a better person. I definitely gotta get more of that in me.
that's what I'm here for. How you doing?
Well, you're
Yeah, I
inspiring
try.
me
I
for
try
sure.
sometimes. Like, it's you know what? It's not always easy. Like I said, I've been in positions where I understand where I understand now why people are selfish. Like, I understand. After the shit that
For
I've
sure.
dealt with in life, I can see why there's selfish people in the world. I get it. You know,
For sure.
I see why there's people that just say, you know what, that be like, fuck y'all. Yeah, I don't care if if your world is burning over there. I'm good over here. Don't bring that shit over here though. Don't bring that fire
Yeah.
over here.
Keep that in your world.
Yeah, I'm fine over here. Now, I might help you a little bit. If you got your mind right. I see why people are like that, and it's like I'm trying to balance both of those. I want to balance
That
both of
would be a
those.
good way.
And like I said, I'm just trying to get myself back on stable. Like I said, I would love to get my numbers up, get my numbers back up into like tens of thousands of subs. And I want to be able to do like little mini giveaways and things of that nature sometimes, and from time to time, and just build overall build generally good content. You know what I'm
For
saying?
sure.
And content that people can come back and enjoy, and people can see the. That's why I don't delete a lot of my videos. I mean, I could, by all intents and purposes, I could delete a lot of my videos that won't do shit for me, but like I don't, because it just shows the progression of
I was
where
gonna
I
say it's kind of
started.
a record of your progression. Like that's
Right.
really kind of cool.
I've been, man, when I tell you, I started back I've done this for like over 10 plus years. Like, I've done this for like what, maybe 10, 11, 12 years
Damn.
now.
I didn't realize it had been that long. I saw that you had some older videos, but I
Yeah,
didn't
from
realize it had been that
2011.
much
Like, I
more.
started,
Wow, man.
2011. No, actually before that. I want to say my original username was Lawrence 2008 1987. So yeah, 2008 was when I created my channel. My first video was in
Wow.
2009. Yeah, '09 was my first video.
Still, man, that is crazy. That was
I'm
back when it was like cat videos and stuff.
Yeah, we was getting into that, like, and like I said, I was doing Christian rap then, and I
That's
definitely want to
awesome.
do a video of me like going through my old music and cringing at my shit. 'Cause
Oh, it's
God,
tough, man.
oh,
Yeah, like I said, I was in a whole bunch of bands and stuff, and just going back to that, it's like,
God, what was
why
I?
did I think this was good?
All
Yeah,
right, what was I thinking? Like, one of these days I was thinking about that. If I get enough interest in stuff like that, I'll
that'd be
probably do
cool,
that.
man.
I might.
That would be cool.
I might. But yeah, man, I appreciate talking with you, man. It's definitely
Yeah, same, dude.
definitely
I
for
really
sure.
appreciate this. This has been a good conversation.
Indeed.
I think this is the best conversation on the channel so far.
Yes.
So thank you very much.
It's gonna be the best one because ain't nobody else gonna top me. LG. You see me now.